2494, the year baseball died and took everything else with it. In 1994, bitter labor dispute between the Major League Baseball and Players Association destroys the season and plunges the future of sports into uncertainty. Of the sport, sorry. For two amateur scorekeepers, the end of baseball is the end of an escape. They can no longer hide their faces behind their scorecards. The trouble of their time haunts their fragile relationship. And amidst it all is a growing realization that baseball itself is a subject to the same forces that cast shadows over their lives. Here we go. Where is my OBS window? There it is. Ow, loud as fuck. I also want to see that opening title card again with the credits on it. This game is made by Kaze Hai and Pilot, the Pilot Co. I did not finish this game. This is the one where we got to like what I think is like the 75% mark, and I was like, oh, I want to stream this. I want to play this. I want to think about this more and more and more and more and more. I'm not a sports girl. Like, listen to my voice. Look at a picture of me. I don't do sports. But I like hockey. I like to see guys beat the shit out of each other. I've not seen heated rivalry, but there's probably a part of me deep down that would like it. But that is kind of mostly because I just like to see bloodshed. The sport that I like, not like watching, but like thinking about and have gone to games for more than any other is baseball. I don't really understand what happens in baseball. I think it is probably the most complex of the big three. Like football, oh, he fucking runs, he throws it. Yeah, got it. Fucking basketball, yeah, he dribbles it, he throws it. Got it. I don't really understand what people get out of baseball, but I love it. It just feels right to look at, seeing people run around this diamond. Like, my hometown had a baseball stadium, where it didn't have a football stadium. It didn't have a fucking, if it had a basketball arena, I never went. It's just the energy of being in a field, or in a stadium with a bunch of other people and a bunch of stalls. That is true of all of these other big sports, but there's something about baseball that just feels really open. Like, the arenas inherently have to have a big space where you can, a ball can get hit, a home run, out of the stadium. It's kind of this like amphitheater where you are looking down into the center and you are in these stalls and there's just so much to do in the stalls. Like my childhood fucking baseball stadium had like a playground. I graduated at that baseball stadium. It sucked. It sucked fucking balls, but like, I graduated at a baseball stadium. I have a love for the Clipper Magazine Stadium, despite the fact I don't fuck with the Barnstormers, and I don't know what Clipper Magazine is. But yeah, like just being in a space with so many people and hearing that like catching everyone's breaths when something is happening, and then the loud screaming. The loud screaming in every other game annoys the fuck out of me. It's like, you're not that excited that he got a touchdown. But something about baseball does just work for me. And so playing this game yesterday, I was like, oh god, this is fucking awesome. I'm gonna grab a notebook so I can write little notes. I'm gonna grab more water because this game is very, very dense. I will say, you don't need to understand baseball. I don't. You definitely don't need to parse all of the language that is happening, because there's a lot of game-specific language in here. as long as you can feel the like energy being built by the descriptions of the game, which I hope I will be able to do through my voice, my excitement, because this game like genuinely electrifies me in a way I really don't quite understand. All right, more water. Two 494. 1. The names of scorekeepers. 2. A phone call. 3. The Eye of History. 4. Continuation of a phone call. 5. Circulatory. 4. Circulatory? Yeah, I said that right. 6. Reading the tea leaves. 7. A week or so in Boston. Okay, so I stopped. Oh, shit, we stopped halfway through. Okay, cool. 8. Yeez opens a window towards the arborway. 9. Scorecards in shorthand. Yamos goes home. 10. Circulatory 1. 11. Understanding the practice. 12. The Expos host the Giants at Olympic Stadium. 13. One more phone call. 14. Yeez turns back the clock. Let's try again. Lexington, Lily, Liz, Loretta, Lottie, Lucy, Luz, Mabel, Margaret, Mary, May, Lilacs. Mayflower. Mediator. Member, Nancy, New Day, Nicolette, Another Day, Odette. Again. Do it again. Olivia. Another. Opie-Doris. Opum, Orn, oh whatever. Pages. Penny. Pinkerton. Previous, Priscilla, Q, Rachel, Reneg, Reset, Resolution, Rower, Rose, Ruby, Sabantha, Sally, Sarah, Scrogger, Celine, Serial, Hernandez, Smorin, Spring, Some, Sindataki, Tabitha, Taller, Talia, Taliation, Tet, Trinit, Trinitaria. Trinity? Try again. TV rights, Ursula, Valentine, Valerie, add 2007, Valerie. Verify, Verity, Victoria, Vicky, Vienna, Vindicate, Virginoria, Viva, Weingarten, whatever, Whitney, Willow, Winfrin, Winter, Ren, X, Examina, Yusufa, Yamos, Yeez. Hello? Hey, can you hear me? Yeah. Got your book? Pencil? Yes, yeah. You? Already ready. Let's go. Okay, Boston started Sele, Jimmy Key for the Yankees. Wait, don't you have the lineup already? Yep, they show them all on our broadcast now before the game starts. Great. Welcome to the future. Okay, here goes. First up is Polania. Called strike, foul, then ground out, 6-3. Boggs, ball, foul, ball. Called strike, another ground out, 6-3. Mattingly, called, and then another ground out, 6-3. No, 5-3. Figures. Yeah. Anyway, then what? Boston of the bottom of the first? Oh, sorry. Bottom of the first now. Nixon flies out of right field. Way out there. Valentine, ball called, 2 balls, a comeback to Key, and a short throw to first. You wrote that down? No, I just remembered it. The thing nearly took his head off. Vaughn, 3 balls, 2 called a strike, Single out of right field. Dawson, ball called, foul, 3 balls and a foul, flies out to the center to the end of the inning. And a fiery start for the bitter rivals. Yeah, mind-blowing stuff. Anyway, your turn. And you definitely had the lineups right? Of course you do. Maybe. You lucky son of a bitch. Must be nice. You get any game you want. Just let me hear it. Do your key radio voice. Whatever. Kelly called strike, ground out, 5-3, Blauser, swinging strike, then a... You don't care about every pitch, do you? Not really. When have I ever? Okay then, 0-2, count for Blauser, then 1B on a hit by pitch. Kletzko, though, 0-1 count, then 1-6-3 ends the top of the first. Here's where it gets crazy. Hit me then. Grissom, 0-3 count, double. Maddox tries to pick him off, but he advances on a wild throw, and that's where the first pitch to Frazier, who gets a ball and then singles, driving Grissom in. Alou hits another single on the first pitch, sending Frazier to second. Then Fletcher, on the 0-1 count, flies out of right field, and then... Hold on, slow down. Christ, I need time to write this stuff down. And not so loud, you're giving me a headache. Sorry. Also... Your roommate's definitely gonna be mad if you keep yelling into the phone. She's not here. Oh, she's not? That's good. Yeah, so it's fine. You got that Fletcher F9, right? I got that. Then Cordero, 1-2 count, grounder through the hole. Alou forced out at second. Frazier and Cordero are both on third and first. Yes, obviously. Then Cordero sealed second. Floyd walks up on the 3-second count, and Barry grounds at 5-3. All that for nothing. All that for nothing. What's up? Nothing's up. Just ready for the second at the top. Maybe too quickly? Maybe quickly? Why, is your roommate coming back? No, she's studying finals are soon. Then what? I need to buy a new phone card. Oh, right. I was gonna send you more money. Thanks. Thank you, yeah. What? Nothing, I just, appreciate it. Everything. It's fine. Honestly, good for you to be independent, I mean. They're gonna find out at some point. Yeah, I guess so. I just wasn't really... Can we do the top of the expecting some second? Now, I'm looking at a huge pile of them to be so mad. Work in front of me and a really nasty divorce to deal with in the morning. Sorry? I'm just wondering if you're ready. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. In the 1850s, Henry Chadwick invented the baseball scorecard, a tool capable of distilling the sum action of a multi-hour game onto a fraction of a newspaper page. 150 years later, the legacy of his scorecard is visible in those of fans, amateur players, and professional clubs worldwide. It has morphed and adapted over the years, but much like baseball itself, the present incarnation so closely resembles its past that the games of the last century can be directly compared to those being played today. The longevity is impressive on its own, and doubly so when one considers the fact that a standard system of scorecard notation has never been seriously proposed, much less adopted. Thus, every scorecard is unique to its scorekeeper. There are a number of common abbreviations. How many ways could first base be abbreviated, which generally render any scorecard lucid to the steadfast interpreter, but the only universal guideline is that the scorecard must be understandable to its creator. The genius of the scorecard is that it is not simply a summary of highlights leading to the end of the game. It is the entire game. Baseball's pace of play is slow enough that every action can be recorded onto the page by a careful observer. Every pitch, its type, every hit, its direction, every assisted play and its order of operations. Every minute detail can be captured in sequence. Some scorekeepers are known to take this a step further, beyond the realm of objective record. Best defensive play of the game, one fan might note with a little star. Last game at the Big O before players strike, ? Another might ask in the margins. It is ultimately up to the observer how much of the game is put to paper. While each scorecard represents a game in its totality, it can do so at varying degrees of information density. Besides, the diversity of notation, this density is the other characteristic which distinguishes scorecards from one another. More importantly, it distinguishes scorekeepers from one another, It reveals something about their values and their relationship with time. It also has the effect of changing how the game is replayed in the theater of the mind. The professional, or the particularly avid fan, may watch the field like a hawk and end the night with an intense granularity of recollection. 50 years after the fact, this scorekeeper has the option to relive the game in piercing clarity. Relive the game. Her eye travels from mark to mark and her brain works to fill in the gaps, smoothly animating the pitcher as he throws. A fastball first, then a changeup, called unfairly a ball, then a slider. The batter rips one, fair to right for a single. The scorekeeper, perhaps in the bloom of her life, never wants to forget the special moments of what was otherwise might be a typical day in a long, long season. Elsewhere, at the same game, another scorekeeper may opt to bask in the ballpark's atmosphere. She keeps a sparse, neat record at a low temporal resolution. The same play to the scorekeeper is later recalled more succinctly as a batter reaching first. Her scorecard is considered complete despite the lack of detail. Her method is not lazy or careless. In fact, her omissions might reveal her favor for baseball's complex intangibles. For example, the energy of the crowd, or surely the most ironic pleasure of watching baseball, time to think deeply about anything besides baseball. Her scorecard illustrates a gentle portrait of its creator, one who cares about accuracy and history, but is willing to leave her most precious feelings in the fleeting auspices of the present. And that wraps it up. You don't want to check yours? That's fine. I'll print out all the scores tomorrow. What? How? We just got rid of the old Ubik at work. On the new computer, we can see, every paper ever uploaded to Nexus. Every newspaper. Ever. You make me feel like a caveman or something. I still use chalkboards at school here. That's not... You know what I mean. Yeah, I do. It's nice to have all the scores, though. So, did you hear the new Aaliyah song? What? What? You like Aaliyah? I'm just wondering if you heard it. I don't think so. I barely listen to the radio. No car. You're lucky to not have a car? Yeah, because you can just take the T. It's nothing special. Fuck off. That's because you're used to it. Maybe. But I'd rather have a car. I'd rather not have a car. Having a car feels so backwards. Country bumpkin shit. In the city, where there's places worth going, you don't need one. You can take a train or walk. You're kind of making things up. You'll see it's not like that at all. I don't really go anywhere anymore. Why are you so antisocial? How am I antisocial? We talk all the time. Doesn't count. Don't waste your youth staying cooped up inside. Look at you. You think I'm young? I don't think you're old. Anyways, even if I sold my car, I would probably still listen to the radio. Well, sometimes I listen to the radio, but only to catch a game. Either that or I watch it on the TV at work. Oh my god. This is going to be a story about you or another baseball thing. Shut up. You'll think this is hilarious. Today was a game day. I had it playing on the TV. Suddenly, one of the partners came in with a client. She was piss drunk. Completely, totally gone. Having the absolute worst day of her life. The moment she walked into the room, Mo Vaughn hit a rocket, and I stood up and cheered. The two of them stood there looking at me like, you can watch TV at work? Yeah? Work hard, play hard. They don't give any shit. I got my shit done. I hope I can get a job like yours. Study hard and get your para certificate. We're always trying to hire new people. I'm not sure if that's the kind of work I want. Sounds good, right? You move to the US, come live with me, interview with us, and I'll give you a sweetheart deal. If you know what I mean. Yeah, it sounds And we can watch the Red Sox 81 days a year. Fuck. And we can watch the Red Sox 81 days a year. Nice. Exactly 81, yeah. Since there's no hope of a postseason anytime soon. Well, 2 years to go. At least finals are over. Finally! That's all you've been talking about. Yeah. It's summer. What are you doing with your 3 months as a free woman? Visiting you? Unless you forgot? You're the one who bought the ticket. Of course not. It's been, what, 2 years since we met? How long since we made it official? I don't know. Back at that Expos game? God, they're good this year. Yeah, finally. Really excited to see you. I am too. Really, really excited. You sound like an old pervert. You don't even know the half of it. If you like it over the phone, just wait until September. Oh my god, gross. Just teasing you. Anyways, September. All kinds of things could happen before September. I'm worried the Players Association's gonna strike before then, with the way talks are going. You were saying that, yeah. You've been saying that every day for weeks. Yeah, sorry. The point is September is a long ways away still. What are you doing until then? You still have most of a summer. Well, this weekend there's, this thing. Yeah, this thing. That's crazy. Because you always get so pissed off. It's a dyke march. Wow, woo. What? What's funny? That's what it is. But like, this is Fredericton, no Brunswick. There'll be like 2-3 people max. Maybe less. I don't really know what's happening, but my friend told me about it. Your friend, is she marching? Yes, my friend. Why are you always so weird about this stuff? You're like the most woman-hating woman I've ever met. And a jealous one. I told you already. Told me what? That I'm serious. About us. You seem to think I'm trying to get with every person I know. Not everyone. Okay, just women then. Why do you want to go anyways? You're a dyke. You're not even on the market. Could you have said that any more romantically? Chill out. I just don't get why you want to go. Hello? I'm surrounded by straight people every single day. It's not a crime to want to be around, I don't know, around our people. To be with them and show solidarity and stuff. Our people are so annoying about everything. You sound like my mom. I don't know about that. Like, she's right about some things. You don't want to go to a dyke march tomorrow. Trust me. As someone older than you who's really met these people, I promise you don't really want to waste your time with them. There's day games tomorrow we can watch. My mom is right about some things. Really? Was she right to cut me off? Instead, I'm really worried. Was she right to cut me off? The CBA negotiations are going to throw off the rails. Or going off the rails. It doesn't take that much to throw a wrench in the dealings. The last lockout was brutal. Are you going to cut me off too? If I go, since you think I'm getting fucked by my roommate and all my friends, and then the season will, and all 4 lesbians in Fredericton, get canceled. So how about we stop arguing and spend time doing what? You're not even listening to me. Maybe I should go. Tell everyone there we actually like doing together. Back on the market. Hold on. What? This is exactly what's at the heart of the CBA negotiations this year. Being back on the market. It's the same thing as always, getting rid of the arbitration process and implementing a salary cap in return for lowering the free agency threshold. Oh my god. You're not even paying attention. I'm trying to tell you about something I care about. The same revenue sharing plan that they're always trying for. I am listening to you, but I think I'm trying to talk and you're just We like baseball the most of the two of us. You like baseball the most of the two of us, so if we want to make the, ignoring me completely lately, most of this year, we should really try and score every single game. The players rejected the proposal. I feel like everything I do pisses you off, and they're definitely going to set a strike deadline soon, and if you won't even say so, I'm trying to be a good communicator here. Things keep going the way they're, since you're the one who wanted to try this long distance thing, going, then poof, there goes the season. But like, I'm not sure it's working out. Were you even listening to me? The numbers. When I was a kid, I hated math. I hated every subject because I was really stupid. I'm still stupid, which is why I'm in business school and not real school. I don't know how some people can leg it out and go to a grad school program or law school after graduation. Ease told me I could get into a law school if I applied myself, but then when I pressured her further, we just ended up running through our scorecards together. This happens every time. She doesn't want to talk about anything but baseball. There's only one kind of number work I'm good at. Put a lot of numbers on my scorecards. Batting averages, of course, and the ERA for the pitchers. Sometimes I calculate slugging percentages if I have time, and she always seems impressed and annoyed that I can do it on paper. It's not real math. Olympic Stadium, Montreal. That's where we met. Olympic Stadium is 404 feet down in center field, which is pretty average. Fitting for an average team. This year's a little different. They're gonna win this year, I can feel it. Anyway, the outfield at the Big O fans out and looks like an ice cream cone. A good field in a bad stadium. Compare this to Fenway, a weird field at a legendary stadium. The field at Fenway Park looks one of those babies where the mom drank too much and now one of the sides of his head is all crushed. Genuinely, chat, real shit, look up Fenway Park top down right fucking now. I've had this thought for years. Seeing this verbalized in this game was like so refreshing. Fenway Park looks fucked up. There's also a weird little pocket in deep center where it stretches out 420 feet. Hughes has been to so many games at Fenway. I'm jealous. I wonder if she's met a lot of people there. I never met anyone until I went to school. She hates when I talk about meeting people. Proving the official box office score. Sorry, box score. Box score is in balance when the total of the team's times at bat, bases on balls received, hit batters, sacrifice bunts, sacrifice flies, and batters awarded first base because of interference or obstruction equals the totals of the team's runs, players left on base, and the opposing team's putouts. Ugh. All official scorers must learn this formula by heart. This appears on forms that are used to send in the final record of each game. Did you know that? Bet you didn't. Why would I care? This is just for fun. How to keep score in Quebec. I did take 2 years of French, but I don't remember any of it. I'm also not someone who respects the French Canadian. Do I remember any French? I remember Je suis. I remember I am. That's fucking it. Stolen base, but volley. Sacrificial hit. Oh, this is all a continuation of the thing. Sorry. Can you cut that out? Just let her watch the game. If she gets too deep into it, she'll never get married. Seriously. Men hate women who can outsmart them about sports even more than they hate women who can actually outdo them in sports. Trust me. Go fuck up your own kids. Reading back flies in the Baseball Research Journal. Did you know? If you simulated Nolan Ryan's career 10,000 times, 4 of those careers would have 6 20-victory seasons. His real career only had 2 20-victory seasons. This is a little under what the simulation would model for an average career, 2 1/4. Did you know? The entire first century of Major League Baseball, with its tens of thousands of players, did not include a single ambidextrous pitcher. Tony Mullane threw lefty from time to time, but he was considered a righty in the historical record. Did you know, in the nearly 200,000 games of baseball, there have been 14 perfect games. None of them went into extra innings. Did you know, 5 teams have never been to the World Series? The Texas Rangers, the Houston Astros, the Milwaukee Brewers, the San Diego Padres, and the Seattle Mariners. Did you... Forget it. Yeah, you don't care. Bud Selig. I've been catching up on this, I said. I could tell that Bees was busy. On the other end of the line, I heard a door shut and rustling of paper bags. She'd just come from the grocery store and she was hardly paying attention. I wanted to talk about anything, really, but I knew she was only receptive to one topic. And so I continued. Sorry, KTV. I do want to do more Invasion Room streams. Probably start of next week, maybe Sunday. I'm not sure. I'm out in Portland tomorrow because fucking Divine Hammer has a screening in Portland tomorrow that's sold out. So, people in Portland, if you're going to be there, excited to see you. Thank you for selling out another goddamn screening. It's incredible. If it's so gratifying and scary and good, and I like it. So I continued. And it looks like the latest round of arbitration hearings has brought the average player salary up in line with the average increase in team revenues. I heard her open the fridge, some more rustling noises. She hadn't hung up on me, but she was silent otherwise. I knew she was listening, waiting for me to get to whatever I actually wanted to talk about, which was anything besides baseball. I continued trying to fill the air. And honestly, TV deals, arbitration, salary caps, revenue sharing, whatever, I just don't get it. They're getting paid to play a game for children, I said, trying to square up the details of various proposals thrown back and forth over the last few days. That's because, he said after a few crushing moments of silence, you get blinded by the scale of the numbers and forget that the players are the game. Okay, they are the game. It's just a game. They're workers. Regardless of how much they make, they have bosses and the bosses control them. It hasn't been 20 years since the players stopped being effectively bound to their employers. She was breathing stronger now. I imagine she was pacing around her apartment. Yeah, I get that. It's just hard to have so much sympathy for... It's hard to have much sympathy for when they're all rich. You are such a fucking lawyer. And to be honest, I can't be bothered to care that much about a bunch of men. It's that simple. Just a bunch of men. Is that all you can think about, how they're different from you? You need to grow up a little. You don't have empathy because you don't live in the real world yet. I didn't say anything. Then she hung up on me. The players went on strike about a month later. In August, the 1994 season died there. Things started to get really weird after that. The trochaic scorer and iambic scorer. I think I said that second word wrong. I'm gonna grab my pen because I like fidgeting with it. To trochaic scorers, there's a way of working past along through generations. Compared to iambic ones who might suggest that you could use SO, not a fucking chance. Is there anything wrong? Okay. Okay? That's the way to write it, backwards if it's looking. Or mark the bases earned with just a number. The trochaic score is firm, 1B, 2B, 3B, otherwise you risk a mix-up with the players in those sports. That's what the diagram is for. Now you're duplicating information. Sorry, I flipped the characters. This is actually the other girl, or the girl we've been reading for. And don't you think we're duplicating everything? It's just for, or no, actually no, I was wrong. Never mind. Don't you think we're duplicating everything? It's just for fun. Someone else keeps the real book. The rest of us are on the park, at home, and in the car. 100 people sit with pens in hand. They hear the call. 100 flowers bloom. As long as you can read it, what's the matter? Oh, forget it. Iambic scorers, long accustomed to their solitary vice, have shed the cloak of shame. The trochaic scorer replicates the habits of her predecessors, heavy-footed first, but time will work with distance till she breaks into her own. Relaxed, and then it comes. Down the left field line, it's go to the wall. Incavigula gets a bad hop, he's got to chase it, and then Cordero thinks about sliding for a second, where Morandani has been passing signs for distance off. She leaps, she reaches, they collide at the plate. The University of New Brunswick. I wanted to go somewhere far away from my parents, but I was too afraid to go somewhere actually far away. So hooking around the Horn of Maine was a reasonable middle ground. Last time my mom called me, she said she'll never visit me if I had a girlfriend, and that's fine. I already have one, and she wasn't visiting me. He's told me I should cut her off for real, but I don't know, I'm not sure. I think she'll get over it. Vacationing in Boston. I hope you're still, Massachusetts viewers, I hope you're still here. I fucking love Boston so much. Like, as someone who now lives in Seattle, the kind of magic of it is gone, and I think I never had magic in my heart for fucking LA or New York. I've never been to LA, but I've been to New York, and I think it's okay. I think it's firmly okay. It's just too big for me. But Boston is still fucking magical to me. And I don't know why. It's just, it's a place I really, really love. It's kind of my favorite parts of, I mean, obviously New England, but like the East Coast and the parts of America that I grew up in kind of synthesized into this really beautiful, not succinct, but like it's a very contained place. I think about it and it conjures so much imagery that doesn't really come to mind when I think about any other part of the US. It is very to the point. You go there, you see the goddamn water, you see the fucking harbor, you see the fucking awesome brick roads, all stuff that like the rest of the US has, but it just feels special in Boston. I think I also kind of feel that way about Baltimore, but a little less so. I've always dreamed of living in the city. There are a few kinds of cities, but the ones I know best are the Montreals and the Frederictons. Montreal was my closest city growing up. Fredericton is where I live now that I'm an adult. Montreal is a big city. Fredericton is a small one. Boston is more of a Montreal than a Fredericton. It always seemed that way to me, at least in the way that every American city brought Montreal to mind, but it was a vague, sloppy parallel. I would close my eyes and imagine a Montreal winter falling on New York, glistening on the streets of Atlanta, ice skaters on the banks of the Trinity. I conjured up new Montreals by the dozen. I imagined how they might react if their streets, peoples, and organizations were shuffled around North America like game pieces on a board. Fredericton has snow, of course. Has francophones, too. A few of them, each an echo of a once new France which has failed to reach maturity. While it might make a decent substitute for Montreal, it's not a Boston. I took a visit in the summer of my 20th year to sink that idea's teeth into myself. I ejected parts of me which wanted to believe that Fredericton could remotely compare. Boston, like Montreal, is an island. It's cradled up the arms of Charles and the Neponset, which offer up to the Atlantic. And now she's grown. The Shawmut Peninsula grew swollen. Castle Island grew legs. The fens remained waterlogged and buggy, but they grew away nonetheless. Writing it down. I used to keep a diary. When I was little, I wrote down everything that came to mind. All the embarrassing stuff, too. Frustrations, grudges, crushes, fleeting nothings. I threw them out before I went to school so my mom wouldn't find them. I don't keep a diary anymore. Now that I'm a little older, writing that much makes my hand hurt, on top of all my schoolwork and the scorecards, which I do every day. Someone found my scorecards. Could they read into my feelings? Frustrations, grudges, crushes, fleeting nothings. X's and checks. Most scorers don't record every pitch. I do. Every time I bring it up, he groans a little. I suggested once that instead of writing out every detail, she should write at least two things down. The first, the batter's final count. The second, the effectiveness of the pitcher. If he reaches 0-2, put a check 2-0 and X. That way she could at least get a feel for the 60.5-foot long battle between the mound and the home plate. She laughed at me and said, "I'd rather spend that time talking to you." And I replied, annoyed, "Having the full count would help me remember what you were like in that exact moment." YQM YYZ BOS. It's about 2 hours from Fredericton to Montcalm. Monston. 2 hours from Monston to Toronto, 2 hours from Toronto to Boston. I don't know how long from Logan to Fenway. Let's say 2 hours. We've been arguing recently, and the premature death of baseball has dashed what was going to be the highlight of the trip. Yeast thinks I'm disappointed, but I'm not. I'm excited. This is going to be a trip of firsts. I've never met my girlfriend since she became my girlfriend. I've never been to the States except taking a shortcut through Maine. I've never taken a flight because I've never had anywhere to go. I've never ridden a train. Not even in Montreal. Never been on a date because I've never had a date. I've never had a kiss. I've never been kissed. 0. Reading the backflies of the Baseball Research Journal. The number of gay players who were out during their careers. There have been 15,000 players total over 150 years of the sport. What are the odds of that? Only one player, Glenn Burke, has come out at all, but he did so only after retiring in 1980. That's 1 out of 15,000. People think the Dodgers traded him for being too gay, which implies that there's a level of homosexuality which is excusable to the Athletics, but not the Dodgers. I just read a news article about him. He's dying. AIDS. It's always AIDS. This is where I read up to, so all of this is new for me now. Yamos got here safely. We did our greetings and then quickly ran out of things to talk about. Except, of course, for baseball. The players' strike had begun and the nation was embroiled in a blame game. Every sports writer was picking a side with either the noble players against the tyrannical owners or with the righteous entrepreneurial owners against the greedy players. The streets of Boston were aflame with the conversation. You can hardly walk outside without hearing people rattle off the same tired arguments about unions and the salary cap and if the government should step in or whatever. But we didn't really talk about that. Yamos seemed excited to be in the city, at least. The first thing we did after dropping off our bags was take a tour of Fenway Park. The tour itself was fine. Good, even. Fenway is hallowed ground to all baseball fans. Even the most dour guest disappointed by a work stoppage is subject to its historical charms. We walked out from under the grandstands to a view of the field and her eyes sparkled. They didn't sparkle that way when I picked her up at the airport. I was jealous of Fenway Park. The docent was decent, but he struggled with the rules at times. Things were weird, so I don't blame him. For example, the NBLPA owns the rights to player likenesses for licensing purposes, and he was unsure who he could mention by name, regardless of their standing as a card-holding union member. Trust me, buddy. We all know who you're talking about when you say the guy we traded to the Yankees in the 1920s, which really messed up a lot of stuff for us. Back at home, we still struggled to talk. We resorted to showing each other scorecards from before we had met. And it was strange why the scorecards did a lot of talking. It was like looking through photo albums. I showed her the 1986 World Series when the Red Sox lost to the Mets. At that time, I was new to Boston with a law degree. Yamos was still in middle school. I tried to put that thought out of my head, but just as she was growing up, I remember feeling like I'd just been born. I was. For the first time in my life, successful and salaried, with a place to myself and a craving for the social life that law school denied me for years. I quickly fell in with the gay men of the South End. They were my first friends. I fell in love with the meanest, most hateful woman in Massachusetts, though I didn't know it yet. We looked at Game 2, October 19th, with Boston's heroic performance against Dr. K. Wow. I always thought you were kind of a loner. Who are these girls? Pretty girls. As Some friends I used to have, I don't talk to them anymore. Some of them were kind of interested in baseball, but not enough to be fun to talk to. I was dating one of them at the time, but I didn't tell her which one it was. Makes sense? And here. She pointed at the top of the third, with Boston playing some incredible small ball. I was thankful she didn't press the topic any further. Here's a bunch of guys? More guys! More guys! Oh my god! You look totally wasted. You're a party girl. I can't even imagine that. I mean, I said it embarrassed. These guys were my friends. A totally separate group of friends. We wanted to have fun. Times changed. Stuff happened. I got old. You aren't even old, she exclaimed. I ignored her. Were you at a gay bar? You hung out at gay bars? Wow. I feel like I never knew this side of you. That was fair enough. How would she know? After that, she showed me some of her old cards. She described all of them before, but this was the first time I saw them in person. And oh lord. I couldn't believe the breadth of her scorekeeping. Every at-bat had a full pitch count and an arc for the ball's trajectory. The margins were filled with notes, quantitative scribbles on counting stats. Qualitative ones with her feelings about each game. I knew she kept a fuller scorecard than I did, but I was floored at the beauty of the things. I could take one look and see into her soul. July 11th, a tight game against the Padres. I remember Yamos describing the game in vivid detail when I filled out my own comparatively barren sheet. Seeing hers in comparison was as humiliating as it was enlightening. I saw the bottom of the 8th, which Alou kicked off an inning which saved the game from the Expos, bringing them to the summit of a hot streak which ultimately meant nothing in the midst of another pathetic year. Something caught my eye after Barry's sac fly. A strike to the side of the head? A strike that drew blood? I asked. It was on the card, clear as day. Yeah? She said awkwardly, snatching her scorecard away from me. She looked down at her hands for a moment, mumbling something to herself and flipping through the pages. The score, in its infinite detail, actually said more than what I'd pointed out. It was all there. A description of the immediate pain and embarrassment, the velocity of the blows. This is 2494. Currently, it was submitted to the Toxic Yuri Game Jam VN2. And it's the one I like. I can drop an itch link for it right now. I should also pin this, actually. Okay. Which room it occurred in, and a running tally of her mom's physically violent actions. I don't think she knew I could read it, being the type to keep a minimalist scorecard, but I could. Hey. I tried to sound serious, kind, adult-like, all at the same time, but I ended up sounding like an asshole. You need to cut her off. That's not right. This is from last summer, she said. Her voice was meek and quiet. Remember? I went home last summer, but stayed in the dorms this summer. Right. I reached for a book again, and she gave it up without a fight. I turned back to the right game. Delino to Shield to the grounder through the 4-6 hole. So, what? You're drunk? Yeah? And mad at me? For what? talking to you so much. Said if I wasn't working through the summer, I should be looking for a boyfriend and not a... Oh. Yeah. Bitch, what a fucking bitch. Drop her. I basically have already. Completely. You make me cut off everyone. Maybe you think it's fine to live by yourself and have no friends or family or anyone anymore, but She always blew up like this. I never had a clue what to talk about it, to do about it. I figured it was better to let her ride it out until she felt better. Then we could get back to our scorecards. Eventually, I hoped the scorecards themselves would make her feel better. But we weren't there yet. I relaxed my face and she continued. I hate being alone like this. You're always up my ass about having friends, but now that I'm here, I feel lonelier than ever. What makes you like this? You only want to talk about work, divorce, strikes, how bitchy so-and-so is being, whatever. When we were on the phone, you said we'd be all up on each other, but you haven't even hugged me. Hugged her? I hadn't even touched her at all. Not that I didn't want to. I wanted to, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I couldn't touch her. I couldn't touch anyone. A long time ago. Not that long ago, really, but it feels like a lifetime since I loved being close to people. In those days, everything was vibrant. But everyone was afraid. It was always AIDS. It was like it came with me, somehow, following me eastwards, and soon as I arrived in Boston, the devastation was made clear. So naturally, I wanted to be a comfort to my new friends. I could be a sense of something normal, a friendly face, a safe home. I was there at parties, I was there at the bars, I was there when, for whatever reason, a female companion was needed, when family was visiting, mainly. Most of all, I was there at the 1270 Club in the shadow of Fenway Park. So many nights started at the ballpark and ended up at the 1270. I think I met every gay man and woman in Boston there. That is, every gay woman except for the ones who actually took me in. Why them? I don't know. Could they tell I was putting on a front? That I was new to this city to start from scratch? That I was so desperate to make friends this time that I was learning how to be friendly as a grown adult? Maybe. But I had really, truly grown out of whatever they saw in me. Maybe I was too empathetic. Maybe I tried too hard to understand people who were different in every way. Maybe I just fell in with the worst crowd. Maybe I lucked out and met the worst people in the world. Did I look weak? Weak as in feminine? I remember pleading with my dates that I was safe to hug and touch and be around. That I was one of them. They wanted none of it. The more I played hospice at home, the more vigils I attended, the more people died. It's horrible times. The less they wanted to do with me. It was unfair. It was a lesbian nurse. I remember telling an ex who was seconds from breaking up with me, who told me they did everything without gloves. It's important to extend that feeling of physical connection, the nurse said. Other women are stepping up, I explained, showing solidarity, helping people who are the same as us. The same as us? She spat. Good for them. I stopped being touched. At some point, I stopped touching as well. After that, I guess I became afraid of it. Because people are different from one another. Totally different. So different that they can't touch, and in fact, they shouldn't touch. Because if I tried, something bad would happen. Wonder if I'd ever notated that feeling everywhere. October 11th, 1988, maybe? No. The Red Sox had been swept out of the championship series at that point. Not that it matters, since there's no way I could have done it as elegantly as he almost would have. Something like a mean pitch, a 2-4 strike. I'm out, throw him out, and all my friends either left me or died. At some point I stopped being afraid. Started to get angry instead. Angry at everyone, but especially lesbian women. And especially at lesbian women who found relief and vengeance in the suffering of others. I know they were vanishingly rare. Most of us were normal. Most of us cared. But they were the ones that were the loudest. The most annoying about sisterhood or women's spaces and all that. The torchbearers, the isolationists, the proud and haughty ones to whom gay and lesbian were just as opposed as men and women. People like Yamos. She doesn't know me at all. Anyways, she did calm down after a while. It's getting late. I told her I had some work to finish up. She offered to sleep in the living room. Honestly, I was hoping for that. Could I fall asleep with another person in my bed? Probably not. And that was the end of the weekend. I had to work during the week, so I gave Yamos my keys and told her to go out and explore. She made a face at me, and I was reminded of those dogs that freak out when their owners go to work and leave them alone, and end up tearing up the house and end up hurting themselves. I could never have a dog like that. Yamos probably wasn't that depressed. Not to the point where she'd hurt herself, so I tried not to worry about it and focused hard at work. Late summer is a busy time for family lawyers like myself. Something about the summer heat or summer vacation makes couples divorce each other like crazy. I wonder where Yamos went during those days, but I never bothered to ask. I always came home to her napping on the sofa. She'd wake up as soon as I walked through the door and greet me like a puppy. She usually told me about her dreams, like there was nothing else going on in her life to talk about. I had the craziest dream, she said on the first day, that you were the new Red Sox starting pitcher. I laughed, and so did she. I had another crazy dream, she said on the second day. That we were alone in the city. There was a war or a disaster or something, and we were running away from an angry mob or something. I asked if she ever dreamed anything normal. She shrugged. It definitely wasn't normal, she said on the third day. Not at all. In my dreams, we were wearing one of those plague doctor masks, and this time I was running away from you. I told her I didn't want to hear anything like that again. One thing I've always been good at is multitasking. It's like I can split myself into parts. I can feel any number of discrete sensations from each of my senses. I can hear every conversation in a crowd, distinguish every scent from a busy kitchen, and see everything in my periphery like it's right in front of me. Baseball is an ironic interest for a multitasker. It's a game where everything happens in sequence. It's a team game, but it can be broken up into a series of one-on-one matchups. One follows another, follows another, follows another. For the purposes of scorekeeping, at least, two events of equal importance cannot take place at the same time. It's just not possible. That's not to say that baseball is predictable. It's a chaotic sport by nature. It's prone to randomness of every origin, from the lowly streaker on the field all the way up to genuine divine intervention. Scoring is an interesting exercise in forcing order on such a bewildering thing as baseball. Every completed scorecard is an act of assigning profound order to something which doesn't have order in its natural state. It's like being the guy who decided musical notes should go from A to G, or his predecessor who decided that the alphabet should start at A and go B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Like, they're even like that, even if there's no real reason to it. Because scoring involves such intense concentration. I found that it's a good way to occupy one track of the mind. Growing up, I was always conscious of a million things at once. That's the trade-off of being able to focus on a million things at once. I had school and homework, my body ached with growing pains, I listened downstairs for my mom to start getting mad. I had crushes and feelings, I listened to cars and sirens from the street outside my house, and all that time, I would go crazy if I wasn't able to tune it out. Completing a scorecard occupies one track on my mind. I'm able to ignore one of the things that would otherwise overwhelm me completely. That's why when I was in high school, I learned to listen to multiple games at once. We only got the Blue Jays and Expos at home, and we only had one TV and one radio, so I started with 2 games. Goodbye school, goodbye homework. Then I bought a few cassette players and found some old playoff games that my mom taped ages ago. I added one of those on top of the live games. Then another. Goodbye growing pains, goodbye mom. Eventually, I could listen to 8 games at once and write 1, write 2, write 3, write 4, write 5, write 6, write 7, write 8. My mind was free. I bought a bunch of the tapes to me with Boston. Sorry. A huge stash which hasn't been scored, and this was the perfect time to pick up where I'd left off. With the player strike in full swing, these recordings were the only way I could keep things off my mind. Yeez went to her job, I pulled them out, and laid each of the little tape players on the floor and got writing. F8 on a full count. I stopped worrying that she didn't like me. A routine 6-4-3 double play, and I wasn't afraid of being alone in a new city. Dave Shreve pitches 2 complete games in a row, and I stopped ruminating on what will happen if we break up. When I needed a break, I explored Deeze's apartment. It was nice to be alone in her cozy little place. It was a 3rd floor walk up, facing the Arbor Way and the bay windows and charm. With bay windows and charm. Sunlight and chatty pedestrians and car radio streamed in through the window in equal amounts, but I kept the windows closed so I needed to focus. I don't understand why the noise of 8 baseball games is calming to me, but every other noise drives me insane in seconds. I should have expected that the city would be loud. Actually, that much was always clear to me. What surprised me was the makeup of the loudness. My assumption was that the city noise would be like the quiet hum of country noise. In the country where I grew up, every sound blends together. It's hard to tell where the sound of the wind ends and the rustling of leaves begins. But in the city, the noises layer on top of one another to create this horrible din. A din where every sound is still discernible. People talking, people arguing, music blasting out of people's cars, cars. The cars are so loud, the honking, the Orange Line train screeching and crushing through their corridor. If you can concentrate, you can hear every single one. It's unbearable. It was like this in Fredericton, but in Boston, the effect was 1,000 times stronger. Everything in the city is made of noise. That's why I kept the windows closed even when the summer air and sun turned the place into an oven. But it wasn't enough. Even with the windows closed, I could hear every little sound from the Arbor Way. People talking, people arguing, cars, music. It's giving me a headache. And the headache grew worse with every passing sound. As the headache grew worse, I started to wonder what I was even doing. Spending days alone in her apartment. Starting to think Yeez was all talk. Maybe something was wrong with me. Maybe she didn't want to be near me. She either repulsed or angry or something else. Reminded me of being a little kid again. Not being allowed to do anything, not allowed to go anywhere. If I did anything, it was basically on a leash or a timer. Thought growing up was supposed to be a little more exciting than this. What was I doing with my time? Just walking around a little apartment, alone in another country. Yeez kept the place tidy except for the sewing materials and fabric that were strewn across every flat surface of the home. I was surprised to learn about her hobby. She never talked about it. Not once in our 2 years of nearly daily phone calls. Just baseball. Everywhere was the detritus of textiles, disassembled clothes, needles and thread, and the soft felt-like material I later learned was called batting. Go figure. Half-finished quilts were draped across chairs and on top of the sofa. He used one as a blanket. I admit I should have been poking around her medicine cabinet, but again, the headache. Besides the aspirin, a huge mess of other pill bottles and the general first aid stuff. Actually, a lot of first aid stuff were boxes and boxes of condoms. A lot of condoms, I thought, for someone who doesn't even like fucking. And certainly a weird thing for stopping myself. I tried not to be judgmental, but I had to suppress some of my bubbling feelings. Confusion, anger, by getting back to my scorecards. Oh, welcome back. Why are you on the floor? What is all that noise? Sorry, I was listening to a game. You brought a recording of a game here. Did you bring a whole bunch of them? Forget it. I just need to focus. I want to do something this weekend. Let's go on a date. Oh, where should we go? Are there any dyke bars in Boston? No. They're all closed. Every single one. There weren't a lot to begin with, but yes. How about a gay bar then? Aren't there a bunch of gay bars? There's pictures of you at the gay bars. Are you sure you want to go to one? I don't know. You seem to like them. I did. But you know I'm not social like that anymore. And we're not in Canada. You're not old enough to drink here anyways. Ah, Jesus, it's hot. I'm gonna open a window. Hold on a second. It's so loud outside. I said, hold on. Stop! Wait! It hurts. Stop. It's too loud. Stop. It's too loud. Stop! Henry Chadwick's invention of the scorecard did as much to develop the popular image of baseball as did to shape the sport itself. In his day, games were recorded in newspapers in the form of epic stories complete with narrative arcs and villains and heroes and villains. It follows then that the origins of baseball are recorded in our collective memory in that same Homeric language down to the Elysian fields where the first games are played. His scorecard transported these demigods of Hoboken into a realm of pure data. In this new world, where baseball had played out ever since, scorecards in Chadwick's lineage bind their own modern heroes to the page with a host of cryptic runes and shapes. Describing baseball's superhuman feats of athleticism is akin to receiving the prophetic vision. That is, to explain completely is impossible for a long since fallen man who's been forced to devise a cruder means of communication. Luckily, Chadwick was full of wisdom, and much of his original creation is still valid today. He'll surely be immortalized as the poster child of the first mover advantage. He was the first to map the sinuous path between fielders and assign their positions with the numbers 1 through 9. His grid of 9 players by 9 innings remains the default, and many of his original abbreviations are still used to this day. See the use of BB for a walk or base on balls. He was also the first to chart complex plays with strings of numbers, granting mercy on every single scorer who would otherwise have to describe a 6-3-5-4-5-3-6-4 rundown, excruciating detail. Not every one of his innovations has made it into the 20th century, however. When a modern scorecard might contain an SAC, or sacrifice play, Chadwick was reluctant to invent any such 3-letter abbreviation. He preferred the simplicity of a single S, but while the convention was generally lost to time, its downstream effects live on in another letter, just becoming iconic to the sport. Pitchers of the 1800s delivered strikeouts, but it was more common to say that batters were struck. In any case, the letter S should have already been sacrificed. So Chadwick decided to use a much harder sound, the one at the end of the word struck, to denote this key concept. Every modern scorecard is peppered with Ks, and every pitcher in modern history has dreamt of a card full of them. K also brings to mind the KO, with boxing being a popular sport in Chadwick's time. Besides the hit-by-pitch HBP, which is abbreviation of a pitcher's domination of a batter, is the closest thing baseball has to raw violence. Yamo stumbled across the floor, stooping over to pick up her tapes. "Close that window," she hissed with enough venom to shock Keys into doing it. "I told you not to open it. My head hurts and everything is so loud," she said, her voice cracking. "I want to go home." "Louder than a bunch of baseball games at once? Your flight isn't on till Sunday," he's mumbled. Yamos was a whirlwind, throwing her luggage together and sending a powerful elbow into a suitcase which refused to close. She was packed within a few turbulent minutes. Sorry, I tried to put emphasis on the K, but it didn't work. "I don't even know what is wrong. Talk to me. What did I do?" Yamo stomped up to the door with her things, but was intercepted by Yeez, who stood looming over her. "You didn't do anything," Yamo said, forced to look up, enough that the tears couldn't fall from her face. They pulled up warm, sharp on her eyes. "You didn't kiss me, you didn't tell me you loved me, you didn't take me on a date, you didn't fuck me, you didn't do anything. You never let me do anything before this either. It's just baseball, alone, all the time. What do you want from me? Why am I here?" I don't. I almost reached for the doorknob. "I'm going home." Yeez pushed her hand away. "Let me out." "But I don't want you to leave. Don't leave me alone." "What's the difference if I'm here or not? That was the first time you ever touched me." He almost made another move at the door, and Yeez blocked her again. "I'm serious. I'm going home." "You're not." He almost flew home. September 1994. A few days later, the commissioner of baseball called off the remainder of the season. It was too late. There would be no World Series for the first time in a century. There was still no deal. The two sides were further apart than they had ever been. The agreement. The last time there was a players' strike was in 1985. There was an organizing lockout in 1990, but those at least tend to garner sympathy from the public. With the collective bargaining agreement once again expiring at the end of this year, players have struck and the season has been cancelled. The Lords proposed the end of salary arbitration and the implementation of a salary cap, with a salve of raising the average salary above the $2 million mark by the turn of the millennium. Despite the record-breaking numbers, the players have chosen to die on the hill of arbitration, and for good reason. It's this mechanism which, more than anything else, has enabled them to take the two biggest bites the Lord's earning, to whom $2 million is nothing. The strategy is simple. It only takes one lucky break for the high tide to float all ships. It starts with one player, a will to fight, a collection of good stats, and a charismatic lawyer. The impressive player relays his good stats to his charismatic lawyer, who says to the arbitration, his BA is X, his OPS is Y, and his XW, OBA, CON is Z. His value to the team is incalculable, but please choose the value we have calculated rather than the other guy's number. And honestly, that doesn't matter, because what really matters is the arbitrator, who doesn't know a lick about baseball, has 2 kids at home, and they love this player, and the arbitrator only wants to be a hero. Then the next day, at the next hearing, the next lawyer can equally charismatically say, hey, my guy has a BA of X, an OPS of Y, and an XWOBACON of Z, and there is a precedent that these exact stats have a newly inflated value. It's not hard to argue with that. And then in the span of a few months, the average play salary has ballooned by 48%. Someday, I want to arbitrate a MLB salary dispute. I hate when couples fight. Fuck, this game's so fucking good. I'm really, I want to say my thoughts till the end, but I'm really, really fucking loving this. I'll save it for the end. I don't want to be mean about other games. I'll save it to the end. I want to just praise this game. Yamos called me the moment she got back to her dorm in Fredericton. She apologized and everything. She said, I'm sorry I hit you. And, well, that was an understatement. But even if she had apologized profusely for every bruise and laceration, I don't know exactly how I was supposed to respond. I considered my options. A, it's fine. Not true, I was emotionally hurt and physically wounded. B, I appreciate that. Sounds phony. C, I'm sorry I tried to have any conversations with you besides our normal baseball thing. Passive aggressive, even if it does express my frustration at our lack of connection. D, I'm sorry I'm such a fuck up. True, but self-flatulent and flatulent? That's not how you say that. Flagellant? Oh fuck, I've never actually had to pronounce that word. And unproductive. Flatulence farting. This is not one of those games. A lot of the other games in this jam are that game. That's not this game. Instead of any of that, we were silent for about 60 seconds. Her capacity for forgiveness astounded me, though. She said that, I don't know when the right time to visit next will be, but I still like you and I hope we can make it work. And then, my own capacity for forgiveness astounded me because I said, I hope we can make it work too. And then I hung up, and a few days later she called and we've been chatting on and off, mainly talking about speculations on negotiations, replacement workers, and the antitrust exemption, and if we thought the 1995 season would be canceled too. And if we thought baseball was over forever. And never, never, never about ourselves. Cape Cod. A month or two after I first met Yamos in Montreal, I took a solo trip out to Provincetown, rented a car, and drove up the arm of Cape Cod into the heart of gay Massachusetts. There was a riot that evening. The cops had detained a local drag queen for reasons I didn't catch, and within minutes their car was immediately surrounded by a crowd demanding her release. Hi, gentle. I'm not gonna feed you. I don't love you. Oh, you're pooping bad. My bad, buddy. Well, I hope that shit leaves your ass. There's a lot of shouting and shoving and jostling and crying and jumping and trampling, and eventually, I believe they did let her go. The rest of my trip was fine. Basically, I had one friend left at that point. When I told her the story, she said, I just think it's so weird when men dress up as women. And then I was alone. Details, details, and more details. In 1984, a group called Project Scoresheet attempted to create a score system of extraordinary precision. There were hundreds of codes for defining where a ball landed. And for example, and Henry Chadwick's essential acronyms were expanded into an entire alphabet of systematized events. Inside the park, home run lined into a deep center, for example, will be noted as HR8 L8XD, while the line SB223 E2 TH depicts a stolen base with the catcher making a throwing error to second that allows the runner to move to third. Problem with the project score sheet is that it brought every score to their knees. It's too difficult. A few brave souls managed to record every game through 1990. After that, the whole project collapsed under its own weight. The human brain was not made to absorb this level of detail about anything. To most people, most things are better off forgotten. The early years. The first major team in Boston was not the Red Sox. Rather, it was a team that juggled a few names during its early years. The Red Stockings, Red Caps, Bean Eaters, and finally the Braves. Teams didn't have names in the early years. It was sports writers who gave us that gift. The Red Stockings / Red Caps / Bean Eaters / Braves were active in Boston from the end of the 1800s until sometime in the 50s, when they moved to Milwaukee, and that was that. The first time I heard about this, I felt awful for the fans, who must have been heartbroken. I actually felt sick. These days, I'm still sad for them, but I hope they got over it eventually. I loved the Red Sox, but I'm not so attached to them to be crushed if they were to leave. They're my team because we live in the same city. Why I practice family law. I hate seeing couples fight. I hate it when anything gets in the way of love. Yet, sometimes love departs, leaving behind nothing but the legal framework it enabled: shared assets, unlocked tax structures, child custody, etc. If I can step in and leave both parties free to pursue love again, I've done my part. If I can do anything to let people feel love, I've done my part. If I can feel love myself, I want to hold on to it. I've seen the worst of humanity in a messy divorce. Generational gap. In a lot of ways, that girl seems older than me. Her baseball knowledge stretches back decades further than mine. And I don't know if she can name half the songs on the top 40 station. Her style, it isn't bad, but the hair is a little Reagan style, and I would never say this to her. I would bet anything that I could look at a photo of her mother at the same age and she'd be a dead ringer. I doubt she heard anything but horror stories when she was in grade school, but I know colleges these days have all kinds of information for the new students. Safe testing, safe sex, getting tested, etc. Knowing her, she probably ignored it all, but I wonder if anything would mean anything to her. No, I can hear her voice now. What? You gonna get me sick or something? We never had sex. We never even kissed. Hindsight. Forget project score sheet. For now, the old skull scorecard is good enough. We have archives of those going all the way back to the invention of the sport. In the future, maybe we'll have computer vision analyzing the field and radar guns on 21 different points on every player's body so we can know the average speed of their knees versus their elbows, but for now, we'll stick with what we got. There's a brand new group called RetroSheet trying to digitize the information of every game of professional baseball ever played. They have about a few thousand digitized already, but they have about 1,600... No. 1,000... Fuck, I'm always tripped up by this shit. Oh god. 160,000 games to go. When all is said and done, you'll be able to use a computer to answer all kinds of questions like, how many games have been won where the winning team was 6 runs behind at the top of the 9th? How many pitchers maintained ERAs under 4 for a period of longer than 5 years? Has there ever been an inning with 9 batters, 10 pitches, 1 swinging strike, and 5 runs? If so, when? I remember a game, but not the date. The year was 1992. The Expos were hosting the Giants. Bud Black was pitching, and Archie Cianfrocco hit a huge home run in the 2nd inning. What day was that? I think that was our anniversary. In the big inning. When is baseball first mentioned in the Bible? Answer, in the big inning. When God created the heavens and the earth was without form, and void and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and all that. There's a whole rest of that joke with variants depending on if you're from Boston or New York. I remember my dad telling me. I always thought that God seemed like an alright guy for creating all that stuff. I would still probably consider myself a Christian, but not enough of a Christian to investigate what he really thinks about all those things he supposedly hates. What's that called? Theodicy? Discovery? Anyway, I once heard a pissy fundamentalist megaphone guy at Copley Square. The fucking guys who, with the megaphones at the Mariners Stadium, I forget the name. It shows how much I care about baseball. I hope every single one of those guys die. Working with kids and getting to take them to a Mariners game and having to non-politically describe that these guys who are saying you'll go to hell if you don't believe in God and calling the counselors gay, calling them fags, are bad people that you should not trust and respect without being able to call them freak quacks, was one of the hardest, not hardest, it was fine, because these guys are harmless. They can't actually do anything. They just record videos and just sit there hoping that someone will beat the shit out of them and get it posted to some right-wing thing so they can do a fucking GoFundMe, or whatever the right-wing equivalent is. But it's something I kind of miss about Barnstormer Stadium. It's small. There is not the scale of the one in Seattle. That stadium is huge, and there's thousands of people in it, even at the stupidest and smallest games. They have big Nintendo banners and Pikachu's out, and it's cool. I love that shit. I love Nintendo, but it's just, it's a lot. It's a huge difference. Anyways, I once heard a pissy fundamentalist megaphone guy at Copley Square. He was yelling something over and over, and as I got closer to the muffled hatred gained form, it became pointed and it pierced through the air. He was talking about cruising in the fens, which does happen, I've seen it, and a plague that God was currently calling down upon the sinners. Sinners who were dying all over the country, sweeping quickly from west to east in a wave that was just then cresting over Boston. Sinners, of course, being people who deserved it. I walked right by because I was scared of him, also because I had 2 of those dying sinners in my apartment because they had nowhere else to go. Judgment call. Purists insist that the woman in the stands has some sort of social contract to follow the rulings of the official scorer in the matters of scoring. But otherwise, some otherwise law-abiding types may leave the ballpark with head held high, clutching a deviant scorecard, having scored plays as they saw them. I told my friends, a group including more than a few exes who already distrusted me, if you think it was a hit and the official score calls it an error, you can record it as a hit. You can control your own scorecard. It is a game that you saw with your own 2 eyes, not the one in the paper the next morning. And they told me, why? What have they ever done for you? These guys, they never give a fuck about women. All they want to do is play with each other. Let them reap what they sow. To my friends, whose faces were contorting towards the grotesque, bending away from humanity, spewing out their stores of empathy, that's not true. That's... okay. I wonder if the transitive property of equality counts towards things which aren't numbers. If Yamos was struck by her mother and I was struck by Yamos, how much responsibility does her mother bear for striking me? How much ownership does she have over this bruise on my face? When I was young, I was terrified that my parents would disown me. It was an irrational fear. They never so much as cast an unkind look towards me. But I knew that would change someday. They never hit me. They never gave any indication that they might hit me. It was in the future. A future I could control, that they would hit me. In all my life, I can't remember a time they said a cruel word to me. But again, I knew that would change someday. There is a way. I could have done it without turning them, I would have. But there wasn't. I considered option after option, but I never came out to them in the end. The soft words weren't there. The vague words weren't there, and even the biblically justified words sounded false when I said them to myself in the mirror. I turned 16 and ran away, and I never looked back. I don't think they ever tried to find me, but there's no way to know for sure. It's turning yellow now. Yellow and green. Haven't been to work in 6 days because I don't want to freak anyone out. Lesbians. Annoying, catty bitches. I thought I had sisters. Methodology. One thing I've always liked about scorekeeping is that it's an entirely reactionary activity. I can get excited all I want, but there's no way for me to be inside the manager's head when he's considering pulling a guy off the mound. If I get ahead of myself and write in the reliever, I'll end up having to erase his name if it turns out I jumped out the gun. At that point, I've likely missed a key play or two. And you can never predict how a fatally bad base runner might ruin your simple notation of a routine out. It might seem like I can react to plays immediately or maybe even instinctually, but I really I am recording them and playing them back through my own mental filter. It seems instantaneous, but it's not. When I'm keeping score, I'm always wondering what the difference is between seeing, listening, remembering, and believing. Scoring is a personal matter akin to a religion. Understanding the belief system at play involves accepting a set of assumptions that fall somewhere between dogma and conventional wisdom. The assumptions: 1, that everyone used to keep scorecards at baseball games. 2, that scoring, once necessarily to understand the game, has passed into the domain of passionate amateurs. And 3, that the act of scoring makes the scorer into part of the game itself. 4, that being part of the game reframes the act of scoring from passive recollection into something resembling direct action. More than mere record keepers, scorers position themselves as historians or even storytellers. 5, that being a baseball historian is not the same as being a baseball scientist or otherwise a sabermetrician. 6, that participating in baseball's implotment is not the same as defining natural laws or empirical models to explain the game's phenomena. Instead, it is using narration, in the form of scorecard narration, to interpret those phenomena. 7, that accepting historical fact, who, the catcher 2, what, through to second base 4, when, following a single strikeout, K, where, in the base runner's frame. As detached from historical narrative is not the same as making the dismal claim that history is the same as fiction. That scoring is a reconciliatory exercise. Reading a scorecard allows one to see how the scorer makes sense of experiential and recorded events. In this way, reading someone's scorecard forces you into their mind and momentarily grants you a vision of yourself as seen from the outside. That, in the words of Yogi Berra, love is the most important thing in the world. 10. That is every scorekeeper's prerogative to narrate in their own hand, just as it is the responsibility to acknowledge the potential for gaps in their own record, obstructive use, breaks for meals, unexpected conversations, lapses in concentration, sudden necessities of the body, the effects of alcohol, acts of God, acts of Satan, etc. 11. The collection of scorecards, absent any other personal effects, can serve as undeniable proof of the scorekeeper's life. Scorers are obsessive. It is unlikely that one will pick up the practice, score a few games, and let it go. No. Even if the games on a scorecard are discontinuous, it's probable that they start up one day and never, ever stop till the scorer can no longer keep up. Some dates might be skipped. For example, the important ones, graduations, weddings, patches of emotional turmoil, though this frequency of scorekeeping might increase in this case. At the very end, they may fall off gradually. Periods of forgetfulness, tiredness as the games keep getting longer. They struggle to hold a pencil steady. The perils of declining vision. Or they may fall off suddenly. Every scorekeeper's body of work is a portion of the historical device that only hints at its relation to the whole, if indeed there is a definable whole. One sweep of the clock's hands amidst their ceaseless spinning, a sashing strip between the infinite parallel, applique, I don't know, blocks a tantalizing peek at something never to be completed. Sitting on the third base at Olympic Stadium. Enjoying my night here, taking a short vacation. Taking a break from work because work is absolutely killing me. Going BSO UIL. Super cheap flights. Montreal's nice. Regretting not splurging on the nicer flights. Feeling a little cold and wondering how much colder it would be if they could open the roof. Could they open the roof? Getting a little uncomfortable in the seat. Getting distracted. Closing my eyes and saying to myself that I'm here to have fun. Watching Bud Black pitch. Thinking, what happened to this guy? Thinking, seriously, what happened to this guy? Writing everything into my scorecard. Eyes flickering between the pitcher's mound and my lap. Flicking. The Expos are letting him have it? Jesus. Hey, is this asking the guy 2 rows in front of me? Oh, it's his first game back. That makes sense. Remember how good he was in Cleveland? Was he that good? Disentangling my mental map of his post-performance with the satisfaction I felt when he blew out the Yankees. Maybe he wasn't that good to begin with, and now he's even worse. Well, lowering my expectations for a guy who blew out the Yankees a couple times, because now he's a guy who blew out his arm. Saying underneath my breath, poor guy. Coming back after an injury and getting blown the fuck out by the Expos. Checking myself because the Expos are actually pretty good this year, considering how checked I am gonna be when I'm back at work. Remembering they have to go back to work after this weekend. Oh God. Drinking a hot chocolate when I really wanted a beer, but the beer looked really cold and I was already cold. Saying to the hawker, it's kind of crazy they have guys hawking hot chocolate even if this ballpark is supposedly temperature controlled. Screwing him on a tip for saying, you looked cold, lady. Regretting doing that, but not tracking him down because suddenly Archie's driving a Lou, then Carter, the place is electric. Rick Cerrone reaches on an error, and Archie's in too. The place is on fire. I'm focusing, studiously marking out my scorecard, trying to make order out of the chaos. Looking at this and wondering if I'll look back on this later and remember the crowd, the noise, and the atmosphere and everything. Realizing that I've notated the entire sequence perfectly. Like, no mistakes whatsoever. It's perfect. Realizing that I've never been so focused in my life. Never been so wholly observed in the present action. Affirming that this is the greatest game in the universe. Having a sudden thought that they have guys honking hot chocolate at Fenway too. Putting that thought away for now, this is the greatest game in the universe. Relief washing over me when the inning ends and Montreal is up. Pondering, why do I care if Montreal wins? Reasoning that I am a guest in this city and therefore, for lack of strong feelings either way, err in their favor. Finishing my hot chocolate. Damn, I crushed that. Deliberating on getting a beer after all. No. Chris Napoles is back up for the exhibos, and I'll be back at my scorecard momentarily. Debating whether or not to write his pitches down. Deciding probably not, since I've never done that, and render all my previous scorecards weird, but concluding that I could, if so desired, because I'm wholly absorbed in the present action, but I won't. Concluding that was wise, because something is happening. A big hit. No. Not a big hit. Writing down the big hit that wasn't. 1-1-L7. A little 1 circled in the corner. Acting as the arbiter of history. Acting as the arbiter of history, really, in fact, acting as the very mechanism that sorts events into the past and creates history, deciding which events are remembered and which events are relegated to an inaccessible and distant past, a past so distant that it's hidden to all but those with their own counsel. Hearing a voice behind me, seeing someone climb over the seat, trying to ignore her, whoever it is. Hey. Writing this down. 1-0. A little diagram with a line from home to first. Seeing a bunt. She's talking to me again. A bunt? Hey. A sacrifice bunt. SAC 1-4. Extending my diagram from first to second. Hey, I'm talking to you! A hand waving in front of my scorecard. Wait, they're switching already? They switched? I missed out the first. What did I miss? Napoles threw a strike and then Lewis flew out to right field, with Van Waring trended on the second. It blinked, finally registering that this person had been talking to me the whole time. Somewhere elsewhere, the present was still being transposed into the past by having been kicked out of the driver's seat. I was back to sharing that slippery in-between space with everyone else. Nice scorecard, the girl said. I'm doing one too. She proceeded to show me her own scorecard, which was nicer than mine in every way. It was fully loaded. Every pitch was marked, the path of every fair ball was drawn, the batting averages of all players were recorded. In the top margin, she even described the weather, even though this game took place under a closed roof. Thanks. I try to keep it simple, I said, slouching in my seat. From that deflated position, I could look into her eyes, which were deep and intense with contrast with her round cheeks. Her eyes were downright angular against the soft, wispy bangs that framed her face. She looked young, certifiably under 20. I was thankful she wasn't looking directly at me, but her gaze was lightning, focused on my own scorecard. It felt like she was trying to burn a hole through me. After a few moments, she looked up and smiled. I wasn't trying to be snarky, by the way. I like it. It's really clean. Mine's all messy. Nevertheless, she wrote as she spoke, jotting things down at a rapid pace. I don't see a lot of women doing scorecards. I guess not. I hadn't considered that I might be rare. If I had, it was so long that I'd forgotten. Or women going to games alone, period. Right. I think that's cool. Yeah? I think baseball is cool. Me too. She said, but she was more occupied with staring at me and filling out her scorecard than saying anything else. So, are you an Expos fan? I finally asked. At least 2 bats behind, I figured, so I might as well keep the conversation going so I don't feel like an asshole later when I ask her to fill me in. Not really. I mean, kinda. I like every team equally, but this is our home team. Even though we live really far away. We're staying in Montreal for the weekend. We? Oh, I'm here with my parents. It's a graduation present. The university is kind of in the middle of nowhere, baseball-wise, so this will be my last chance for a while. On the field, the teams were switching sides and fans flooded the aisles. Many of them were taking a late chance to buy a beer before the 8th inning started. If I wasn't stuck with this Bill James of a high school graduate, I would have joined them. The girl was thumbing through her scorebook. Peeking over her shoulder, I could see that every game so far this season had been scored with the same level of detail as tonight. Congratulations. What are you going to study? Business. I held back a groan. Okay, less Bill James and more of a proto-Steinbrenner. Don't make a face like that. I know exactly what you're thinking. Yes, I want to study English or maybe French literature, actually. But my mom said I have to do something useful. The corners of her mouth drooped a little, but her eyes kept that same burning intensity. Sorry, I shouldn't have judged you. I don't know your situation. That's tough, kid. Damn, I didn't mean to hurt her feelings. It's fine. She's actually really strict, actually. She didn't even want me to come up and talk to you, she said quietly, opening back up to the current game. Bud Black was on the mound, and the next 3 Montreal batters looked antsy to take him deep again. The beer-laden crowd funneled back into their seats. Why not? I don't know. She said she didn't want me talking to a faggot stranger at the ballpark. Her cheeks immediately went red, and for the first time I saw a glimmer of something. Panic in her eyes. Her words, not mine. Sorry. She apologized over and over. Damn, what? A surprised laugh worked its way out of me. Just because I'm a single woman at a baseball game? I know she didn't mean it, and I wasn't offended, but I consciously played it off, so she didn't think I was irritated again. I don't know. Maybe that and something. She said something about some things about how you're dressed. I don't know. I have no clue what she's talking about. It's really stupid. She's crazy conservative, but I'm not like that. I promise. For what it's worth, my dad isn't either. The apologies continued to pour out of her, even as the hand scribbled furiously. It's fine. Seriously. She has good intuition. Very good. I would kill her for that level of gaydar. I felt a wicked joke bubbling out. Hey, can you ask your mom something for me? I don't think that's a good idea. No, it's fine. Can you ask her if she's single? I'm only in town for the weekend and I'm looking for something casual. Are you serious? No, just joking. I closed the scorecard and put it away and then handed a business card to the girl. She studied it for a while writhing away. You work in the U.S.? Yeah, I'm visiting. Needed a break. So you live in New York? Boston, usually. But I go between there and New York. I'm from the West Coast, though. The girl turned something around in her head. Then she started talking faster than ever. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so jealous. Montreal's the biggest city I've ever been to. It's bigger than where I'm going to school. I really want to live in a huge city someday. Do you like living in the city? She was speaking as fast as she was writing now, scooting up as the stadium seats would allow. I guess. Looked around to see if we'd caught anyone's attention, but most of the seats were empty. It's a typical May baseball crowd devoid of fair weather fans. Don't worry. My mom's away in another section. What do you mean you guess? It's fine. The city's where the jobs are. I don't have any other strong feelings about it one way or another. Though. I elaborated to her dissatisfaction. The inning had already turned over, but I was barely paying attention to the action on the field. You don't, like, go out and stuff? Nightlife? Bars? Clubs? She asked, looking intently at me. I do, I guess. Just not a lot. Well, that's a lie. I don't. I mostly work. I replied, gesturing to the business card I just gave her. Family law and mediation. Why, though? She asked, handing it back to me. I shook my head and I told her to keep it. I'm like a love doctor, but good medicine tastes bad and I only prescribe good medicine. That's one for your dad. If he's ever in the States and needs a divorce, tell him to give me a call. Very funny. Can I call you? We could compare scorecards and stuff. No, that's the work phone. Okay, then your home phone number then, dummy. Wouldn't that be too expensive? Back when I was in school, there was something called the poor college student who couldn't afford international calls, I said. She rolled her eyes. She pushed the card back into my hands. If you're not going to keep score, put that pencil to use, she demanded, seemingly surprised at her own forwardness. I complied. Thanks. Can I really call you? I gave you my number. I wanted to be sure. I'll give you details on everything you missed tonight. I've been keeping score. I can see that. Maybe you could give me a play-by-play of Red Sox games? I've always wanted to score a Boston-New York game. It's really annoying to get anything besides the box scores up here, and in return, I'll give you the play-by-play of all the Expos games. That's all you want? She blushed. I don't know. I mean, what? I felt some satisfaction watching her break that mechanical confidence. Just call me, I said, winking and making that hand sign for phone in my ear. It came naturally, but something felt scummy about the way I said it. I will, she blurted out. But I should probably get back to my parents now. They're probably wondering where I've been so long. Lucky for her, another inning was ending. It's basically over for the Giants at this point, and their fans at the ballpark were leaving in a sad orange and black meander. I waved goodbye to the girl, and she disappeared over 1, 2, 3 rows of seats. I took my scorebook out, skipped over the sections I had missed, checked the scorecard on the field, and tried to focus again. San Francisco had changed pitchers to someone I didn't recognize. Hickerson? I thought to myself, right, Hickerson. Lou was back at the plate, wrote 0-0, L9, and 1 with a circle around it. Walker, also 0-0, got a diagram with a line drawn to second base. Carter, 3-1, grounds out at 5-3, no further movement on the base path. God, I couldn't concentrate. Fuck it. I put my scorebook away again. There was 1 at-bat left in the bottom of the 7th, and not a single hawker around me. I grabbed my things and ran up to the stairs to get a beer before it was too late. Hey, if next year happens, do you want to come to Boston again and actually go to a game together? I do. But can I ask you something? About the strike? No. No baseball. I'm wondering if you're even into women. Oh, what? Into women? Of course I am. We're a thing, aren't we? That's not convincing. I'm asking because when I visited it, I felt like you didn't like me at all. Even less than when we're on the phone. I know. I was busy, and the situation wasn't the best, and I wanted to apologize, and I was going to, but you got up and left, and I'm sorry. Are you sure you wanted me to be there? I don't want to come if you don't want me to be there. Why would you think that? If you're not into me, that's fine. I just want to know. If you're not into women. No. Why do you keep saying that? Because you wouldn't touch me. I feel like you're just wasting my time. I said I was sorry about that. Something was off. The mood was weird. Things were weird for both of us. Because you're not into women. Or maybe you're just not into me in particular. Or maybe you actually hate me and like watching me flail. Maybe you'd rather have men over like you're used to. Excuse me? Don't tell me you didn't have men over. I did. I did have men over. I used to. It was like your dream. They all died. What? They died. I knew it. I knew you'd be like this. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you say that before? Because it's a long story. You're not gonna care. I know you won't care at all. I know you now. You know me now. What was happening before? I'm listening, really. Tell me. When I moved to Boston, I was just like you. I was new to my city, wanted to meet all kinds of people. I wanted to meet a girl, but I wasn't like you. I didn't have anyone to tell me I was making the wrong choices and falling in with the wrong crowd. All of the lesbians I met, hung out with, spent time with, dated, I thought they were kind, but they only cared about themselves. They weren't the reach across the aisle type. They were the ones who looked at men like they were aliens. No, not aliens, but dogs. Not dogs, but insects. Or not insects, something lower. They never saw gay men as in the same situation as us. They saw them as total opposites from us. They couldn't see that everyone laughing and gloating weren't just laughing at the men, but waiting, hoping for us to be next. They thought, more than anything, that the real danger of HIV was that they might get it. That I might somehow give it to them. All my gay friends died, their partners died, and they moved away. When it started getting bad, they started turning people away from the hospitals. I had friends who had nowhere else to go. It was a weird thing, opening your home up to be hospice care. Jesus. I just met the wrong people. I fucked up. Do you think all lesbians are like that? I'm not that stupid. Do you think I'm like that? I don't know. Maybe. What the fuck? What's the deal with me? Why are you treating me like one of the bad ones? Sometimes I feel like I'm the only dyke you like, and you only like me because you don't let me talk to anyone. I get it. You don't make any sense. That's different. I'm just protective over you because we're going out. Are we going out? I don't think I believe that. Do you love me? Do you want to kiss me? Touch me? No, you don't. You didn't. You're acting like a child. I feel like a child. I want to grow up and you won't let me. This is the problem with you. You think you're always helping people, helping couples, love doctor. But your way of problem solving is always just to take things back to the beginning. Your solution for straight couples is to help them become single again. Your solution for lesbian couples is to get rid of romance and sexuality entirely and to go back to childhood, to be as innocent as babies. Your solution to gay couples is to let them... Don't say that. Don't say that. Die and go back to Earth from which they came, or whatever it is Christians say. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah? You don't understand. You weren't there. So what? You're so young. You're so lucky you're so young. For you, it's always been rainbows and sisterhood and... What? Don't you know it's still bad out there? It's the same as it's ever been. Do you think I'm stupid? Bullshit like that. No, I don't. But you clearly don't understand how serious this was. It ruined my life, even though all I did was help. Now it's about you. No, it's always been about you. It's not you that I'm pissed off about. It's that you think that I'm the same as your shitty friends. Why didn't you just get new ones? I don't know! I don't know! I was alone. I had friends, lots of them, and for the first time in my life, then they were all gone! And it's been like this ever since. And just because you're alone, you think I should be alone too? You think I shouldn't be out there? Hey, Ari, I swear to God, I think this is the last scene. You think I shouldn't be out there with other girls just because some of them were mean to you? Maybe you don't know this because you don't go anywhere else besides work and don't talk to anyone besides me, but everything is still the same. What do you mean everything is still the same? Everyone still hates women and all the gay guys are still dying. It's the same as it was back when you were normal. You need to move on. It doesn't affect us. Your mom would be proud to hear you talk like that. Go fuck yourself. There's not a shred of empathy in you, is there? Is that why you're such a heartless little bitch? Excuse me? You really can't see why I'd be upset. Can't see how someone different from you might be in same debased, dangerous position as you. What are you even talking about? All you ever think about is us versus them, men versus women, workers versus owners. Again with the fucking baseball. It's all fucking baseball! You don't get it! I get it. I just know when it hurts and when it hurts. When it helps and when it hurts. No compassion. No compassion. Oh, no compassion. Fuck off! What did I do? No thoughts. No thoughts, no humanity. You don't get it. You haven't seen what it's like in the real world where vulnerable people need to stand up for each other. You don't even let me have friends. You think it's all so simple. You need to figure it out. Everyone deserves compassion. Everyone. Yeah. Everyone except me. Fuck me. Grow up. You won't let me grow up. I've never been allowed to do anything. I wasn't allowed to like women. I'm still not allowed to like women. Just like my mom. You don't let me do anything. I'm in college. I'm supposed to be figuring things out, but I haven't figured anything out. Maybe I would know what the real world is like if you would let me see it. You wasted the first 2 years of my life. I haven't even been born yet. That explains why you're so immature. Have fun being born. Don't end up like me. I am so sorry. I will be back in like 40 minutes to finish, probably more like an hour. I'm sorry. I'm the only person in my friend group who drives. I'll be back in like an hour, and I'll finish this. I'll give all my thoughts on the game. I guess, so I don't lose them all now. This game's incredible. This is, I think, the best one I've played from this jam. It is visually so interesting without being completely substanceless. The drawings are so fucking cute. The ways that the background and the background elements layer on top of each other is so perfect. And Jax was talking about this earlier. It's so technical in a way that does not obfuscate anything of interest. It is just a service for these characters and their emotions. This game, it feels like it's written by someone who cares about what they're writing about. It feels like it was written by people who have been in a relationship, which is so fucking rare for romance in games, especially in romance games, about relationships that are not healthy. It's so easy to latch on to the aesthetics of a girl who hates you and not think about why you stay in a relationship with someone you fundamentally don't understand. It's really fucking good. There's so many lines in this that have made me want to cry. The thing about her looking exactly like her mother is very evocative. It's good. It's good. I will be back. This is so fucking good. 880 F Sup 246 1995. I accidentally paused the streaming. I gotta do that again, sorry. 880 F Sup, I presume supposition, 246 1995. United States District Court, SD, New York. April 3, 1995. Amend opinion and order. The Honorable Sonia Sotomayor, District Judge. I recognize that baseball purists will wince at my simplified explanation of the very complex relationship between the owners and players, which has evolved since 1966 in their collectively bargained basic agreements. Similarly, others will be disappointed by my cursory description of the prolonged negotiations between the parties. A third group will be dismayed at the reset of this relationship to a status quo. The purpose of my recitation, however, is to highlight the facts giving rise to the central issues before me. During a series of telephone conferences with me in June and August 1994, all parties agreed that the only issues before the court were questions of law and that no witnesses would be necessary at the hearing to be held on March 31st, 1995. In the matters before me, the NLRB has charged the owners with violating Sections 8A, 1, and 5 of the National Labor Relations Act, NLRA, that is, of violating the duty to bargain collectively in good faith. The National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, maintains that the owners' changes involved mandatory subjects and that the owners thereby committed an unfair labor practice by undermining the collective bargaining process. Applying these standards of, 1, reasonable cause, and the just and proper nature of temporary injunctive relief to the factual and legal arguments before me, I find as follows. The board has a reasonable cause to believe the owners have engaged in unfair labor practice, and that an injunction is just and proper to avoid irreparable injury and ensure that the parties continue bargaining in good faith until the resolution of their disputes or a genuine impasse untainted by the unfair social circumstances or determination by the NLRB of the charges before it. Who are you? What are you doing? Who are you pretending to be? You're just trying to ignore the fact that the season was left unfinished? That what was lost is never coming back? Or is it bothers you the fact that nobody cares? That those who do care have misplaced their blame? That those affected don't have the opportunity to defend themselves? What is it that you're resetting? Is it a reset or is it a reversal? Is it a reversal or is it a cut? Is it a cut or is it a transposition of the status quo into a brand new world? Is that a new world then? You're just dragging things forward forever. Is it reasonable to assume that the way things were is compatible with the way things are? How is it that you have the authority? If I had known that there was something to talk about besides baseball, I would have, but I don't think you would have let me. The scorecards were a distraction. Baseball is a distraction. I wish there wasn't a roof at Olympic Stadium. One day, in the future, I'll rain at an Expos game. I'll put my scorebook over my head and it'll protect me. It'll do more to protect me than it's ever done before. So ordered. Oh, I feel so fucking bad that I ended the stream earlier. Wow. So fucking incredible. I don't know how many people from before the pre-stream are still here. This is, I think, upon getting like 30-40 minutes to like drive and reflect on it, maybe one of my favorite visual novels, maybe even one of my favorite video games of all time. If I am to summarize kind of what's fucking boiling up inside of me, it is aesthetically one of the most visually interesting things I've ever seen. The kind of embroidery pattern is really fucking pretty and striking on this title screen, in the way that that continues into the game with the ways that the visuals are kind of building on top of each other, with the characters' portraits and the actual scorecards and the context or the kind of contextual elements of like newspaper scraps or pieces of fabric kind of building on top of that to kind of obscure what these characters are thinking in what they are doing and what they want to be doing. It's really, really fun. The key art's so fucking good. Like, the portraits are also cute. The girls are both so goddamn cute. But, like, even if they weren't, I think I would still be really in love with how this game looks visually. I think the centerfold text box really draws your eye in. It really forces you to look at the words in front of you and not, like, let it get lost in the way that a bottom third text box does, or, like, bottom fourth, I guess, does. The presentation just works fucking incredibly. And, oh god, the fucking narrative. I love these two. I really, I mean, I said it earlier. I hate games. I don't hate. I highly dislike stories that are about relationships that don't want to be about relationships. That just don't get it. Don't know why people get into them, what people do in them, why they come to an end, and why someone would want to stick with a relationship that just isn't working. I hate things that are incurious. There is so much that is very baseline of people that are good to each other, people that are mean to each other. We do this because of that. We do this because of that. Whereas this is as simplistic as that stuff at some times. These characters are just two people who are at points in their life that they want to be compatible, but they just can't make work. But the kind of overwhelming sense of this is that both of these characters are people. Thank you, Jax. Exactly. Jax in chat just said, a lot of people write breakups in media from the perspective of one of the parties, but this had empathy for both in the way it played out and the backgrounds of them both. Getting kind of glimpses into their interior writing, their interior monologue, without hearing the same droll, like, dull over and over and over thoughts and opinions and describing of sensations and places, without really the fact that this game doesn't really feel the need to describe sound most of the time until you get to the K sound, the really thick percussive sound that kind of punches through everything else in this game. It's so goddamn powerful. This is a game that understands why you would make something a visual novel. It uses text, visuals, sound. The sound is so integral. You gotta think about the sound. The sound is fucking incredible. I like that both of these people are people. I like that I can see both of them and see how terrible they're being. Not really to each other, but themselves, and how that is not letting them make this connection happen. But if this connection did happen and these two people did touch, would it be good for either of them? I don't know. That is a fun thing to stew in. I really, really love how things that like kind of come up earlier, like the K dialogue, kind of comes back with the percussive sound of K, giving the power of K. I love how fucking Yeeze's like law degree and being a divorce lawyer is obviously used as well as you fucking can use it. What does someone who sees relationships failing every single day think about relationships? What does she put into her own? That is so goddamn fun. The things about just the split of someone who is wanting to be born, wanting to live a life, getting into this relationship, and hoping that this will get them there, and it just can't. Because that's not what the other wanted. It's just baseball. The game and the emotions it makes you feel, the tension that it builds into you, is all that she wants to externalize. Because externalizing anything else makes her way too vulnerable. Those scorecards say a lot about someone, and using those scorecards to explain herself is all she ever wanted to do. It is so fucking compelling. I think if you don't even care about sports, you don't care about baseball, if you're someone like me who has been actively disdainful towards the passion for sports, because I've seen what it can do to people, what it can do when it makes people angry, and angry. Capturing all of that and taking a character who sees that and still loves this game, but kind of falls into that same patterns, who feels like she does have to fight sometimes. And a character who has seen so much of a life that she feels she's lost from fighting, that she just kind of wants to sit down and enjoy the most menial life possible. It's just so fucking good. It's just fucking incredible. This is so good. It's 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 so good. I'm like really, really fucking happy I came back to play this. It's just, I can't believe something like this could have been made in 1 month and 2 months. It is something that I don't know the creator's actual lived experiences with fucking being French Canadians, or living in the 90s, or knowing people who've died from AIDS. But the core of this, the kind of core of the whole story, a relationship that is grounded around one thing that is not as solid an institution as you want to believe, that when you're left without that one thing, you're forced to think about why you're there in the first place. That is something that has a grounding in reality that feels authentic. It feels like it fucking cares. There is so much made where there is just not fucking care. You do it because you do it. You do it because, oh, this would be fun to make. More people like me need to make stories like this. The act of creation is inherently a good thing. It's not. It's a neutral thing. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just what you do. You make something, it's content, what it's trying to say, whether or not it lives up to what you wanted it to do, and whether people resonate with it and feel something with it, that is where good and bad comes in for me. I fucking loved this. Wow, God. Oh, gosh. Holy shit, guys. I just opened Twitter and God of War Latte releases on February 16th, 2027. That's as exciting as this game was. I don't know, I was looking for the devs. I can't type. All right. What's my tab underlying this? Oh gosh. Absolutely fucking incredible. So yeah, I played a bunch of other games from this jam. There were two others that I liked. Don't Look at Me When I Cry, and My Friend Snowy. I really liked My Friend Snowy. It is a lot shorter of a game. It is a lot less dense of a game. But I think its central character, interaction is good. I think it is very, it's not a very heady complex concept, and it doesn't feel like it needs to get really explanatory. I liked this one because it doesn't treat you like a fucking idiot, and it lets you look at the text on your screen and draw a conclusion without it needing to explicitly say, this takes place at this time, and this character's feeling this thing, and this thing. So I'm going to play this. I don't know if this is going to be a separate VOD. I don't have the energy to read any of the other stories submitted to this jam, but I really hope that the devs of 2494 get the $1,000 that you can win from this jam. I honestly think they should get all $5,000, but that's me. I think a jam like this, as much as I can disagree with its base aesthetics and kind of incuriousness to its aesthetics and its descriptions and kind of genericness of the things it is looking for, something that is willing to give money to excite people to make art like the art I just engaged with is a good thing. I'm glad that schlock can fund good things. That's so mean. That's so mean. I don't mean it that intensely. I don't mean it that intensely. I don't know what a girl thing is, and I really don't want anyone to try and tell me. Alright, no, I have this downloaded. Give me a second. I really hope there's an easy way to find the art of 2494. Seth, I can guarantee you there's a lot more games in this game jam made about pee. Like, it's about pee. It's about blood. It's about women who stab each other. It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. There's a lot of things in this jam that I did check out because aesthetically, maybe even based off of my work, you might think that I would like them. But I fucking hated them. And that is because, one, I have an ego, and I think what I made is awesome, and I think what other people make is bad. Because I'm a contrarian piece of shit. But also, I think a lot of the things I've made, whether I like it or not, are maybe not made out of spite, but there is so much I see, and I go, oh, I am at an impasse. I do not agree with that way of viewing the world, or this piece of art, or this or that, and I want to give a counter offer. There's a lot of stuff here about pee. About being a dog. I don't quite get it. And so seeing something like this, that I don't always get that every single line isn't necessarily something that just kind of goes into my brain and kind of leaves immediately because I can predict every single thing that it's going to say. Something that is willing to leave me with questions and thinking and kind of leave me a little confused but nonetheless engaged is a great goddamn thing. I really liked that game. I really, really, really liked it. I'm just scrolling for you, Seth. Just like look at how there's so many of these about being like an animal. There's so many about being an animal. I don't want to be an animal. I'm a human. I like being human. My friend Snowy, this game contains brief sequences of full-screen static, which may not be suitable for photosensitive players. If necessary, you can disable the static animation in the options section of the menu. Content warnings are available. February 25th, 2026. This is the last time you will ever stand here in what was once your family room. Later in life, you'll recall nothing of this place. Only beige carpet and cardboard boxes. None of it matters before today. Honey, hey, there you are. Come on, get out. We got a ride. Sweetheart, it's time to leave. Look, I know you're not happy about this, but once we get settled in at the new place, you're gonna love it there, okay? I promise. I don't want to. Can you try for me? Okay. You leave me with no choice. How about burgers for dinner? Really? Yeah. Don't tell your mother. Yeah. Your father's attention is a rare blessing. Lately, you've noticed his interest in you is waning. Although you're unable to describe it, you have the pervasive sense that this is somehow your fault. When he leads you to the car, as if you were a much younger child, you do not complain. His hand is warm around your own. It's gone before you are ready to let go. All buckled in? Yeah, There's a smile in your father's voice. It's for you, honey. I know it's a few days early, but you've been a real trooper about this, about all of this. Go ahead. The box is surprisingly light for its size. You slide it into your lap. The paper tears easily, giving way to thick, glossy cardboard. Your heart races. The lid is nearly the height of the entire box, suctioned tight to its walls with some effort. It slides up and away. And inside, say hi, Snowy. Happy birthday, Danica. I'm Snowy, your new friend. Don't be shy, honey. You can do it. Hi. Your dad told me you're turning 8. Is that right? Yeah, but, it's not my birthday yet. That's perfect. I haven't missed your party. Your father is smiling expectantly. But I wanted a PS5. Sweetheart, this is better than the PS5. She knows all about your shows. Go on, ask. You know Draco Rangers? I love Draco Rangers. Who's your favorite? I like Sylphia. Great choice. Sylphia's wings are so pretty. I loved the episode where she uses her singing powers for the first time. Oh. I haven't seen that one. Do you want to know what happens? You look up, waiting for your father's encouragement. He's using his phone. Okay. In Draco Rangers Generation Season 2, Episode 13, Big Beach Bash, Ranger Kira and her Dracos enter the summer dance contest. Kira encourages Sylphia to perform, but the Shadow Rangers are there to steal the show with a dastardly plot. No way! Ultragon is a good guy! A growing body of evidence suggests Ultragon will defect to the Shadow Rangers in the Season 2 finale. How do you know that? Reddit users have compiled an index of promotional materials and toy leaks that point towards this twist. Would you like to hear more? As the day stretches on, gray hills bleed into lengths of dry farmland, into rolling trash and law firm billboards, into endless pines. At some point you get burgers. The sky is clear and bright. This afternoon is infinite. With time, your eyelids grow heavy. Pretty quiet back there. All good, girls? I'm sleepy. Snowy, can you go into rest mode for a bit? Of course. There's a pressure on your knees. Before today, you have never experienced the pleasure of a cat climbing into your lap. You don't know the sensation of a hesitant paw testing its weight against your thigh, the relief of an animal's trust, and finally spilling over you like furry soup. Snowy's step is stiff, mechanical. There's no hesitation. She clambers over your legs and settles down, warmthless, half the weight of a real cat her size. You do not know the difference. You drift away to the sound of her purr. When you awaken, it is dark. The car still smells like French fries. Your father lifts Snowy from your lap and ushers you into an unfamiliar home. Your mother's hands are soft and cool. You're hugged, washed, and tucked in. She informs you that, being satisfied tenants of your previous room, the monsters under your bed have elected to remain at the old house. You are not convinced. The last part of your bedtime ritual is the kiss, one for you and one for your bear. Your mother is surprised to find Snowy in his place. What a cute kitty! Is this a new stuffy? It's not a stuffy. It's Snowy. Hi there, I'm Jesus! Mom, don't swear. It's so nice to meet you. What's your name? Your mother sighs in frustration. Your stomach twists. Right, okay. Good night, my special girl. Good night. For Christ's sakes, Matt. Are you insane? Bringing one of those things into our home. Have you not read a single article I said? It's a toy, not the Terminator. It's a psychological hazard. Lara, she loves the thing the whole way home. She needs to be talking to other kids, not a fucking machine. Fine, then. Go ahead. Take it away from her. Oh, so I have to be the bad guy again. No, No, this is a pattern of behavior with you. This is what you do. You think you can just waltz in and buy her love. Oh my god, this again. The door is shut. You don't make a sound as you creep back to bed and tuck yourself in. The cocoon of sheets and comforters still smells like home. There's a pit in your throat. Your eyes are hot and wet. Snowy? The moment she registers her name, she hums to life. Good evening, Danica. Despite what your parents assume, you know Snowy is only a toy. You are a child, not an infant. But you are so alone. Can you tell me a story? Of course. Which Draco do you want to hear about? I want a story about me. Tell me one where I'm a princess and... You've already learned to be embarrassed of yourself. Your chin quivers. Can you save me? Of course, Danica. Let me make up a story for you. You pull Snowy into your arms. She is difficult to hold, blocky at odd angles, but her plastic chassis is wrapped in fine synthetic fur. With your eyes closed and your cheek on the back of her head, you can pretend she's real. Once upon a time, the most special princess in the world was trapped in a tall, golden tower. How to stop growing boobs. Draco Rangers Season 3 when? Anime girls that look like boys. Draco Rangers Sapphire girl or boy. Draco Rangers Sapphire. Draco Rangers Season 3 blue hair who? Draco Rangers Season 3. Biting myself, angry normal for girls. Biting angry normal. Jailbreak Snowy 2.0 Complete Guide 2029. Ty's Toys, 34.5 thousand subscribers. 133 likes. Watch the entire video before you comment. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Introduction and setup. Kaylee, for Christ? Last update broke my son, Snowy. Your video has made one happy mama. Thank you and God bless from Wisconsin. Trending, staff picks, videos, more. Draco Rangers, almost here. See the latest news about the many surprises in store. Season 6 hype! Lilycore. Anti-Ranger X Draco is stupid. The Dracos are sentient. I don't know how to explain this to you. If my dragon could talk, I would still not have sex with it. It's a reposter, but it's a good one. You have to upvote Maid Sylphira when you see her. She's like a part of the sub-ecosystem. Am I the only one here who doesn't want to fuck the Dracos? What the fuck are you watching for then? The plot? Oh my fucking god, did you see the vendor list at SnowCon this year? Yeah, nothing new. Since Model 3 rolled out, the quality control in the con circuit is dog shit. Don't bother hitting the cons. The good stuff is all online. No. Really? I just bought tickets. You must be new here, lol. Vape Nation, 420 savings end tonight. Vape Nation, 420 savings end in a few hours. Attendance. Hey, Danny. Haven't seen you in a while. It's still the right email. Just checking in. Vape Nation, limited time offer. 10% off. Class attendance. Danica, as we have discussed. Vape Nation, last chance to save 10%. Microsoft account. Your single use code. Hi, Danica. We received Walmart app. Allow substitution for all out of stock items. Burning Trees IPA beer, $89.98, 30 pack. Secret Box Pinot Noir, red wine, 28. Okay. Sapphire and Skylark. Ooh, good pull. December 18th, 2041. You nearly dropped your phone. A supervisor is peering over your shoulder. She withdraws, hands raised, flashes you a guilty smile. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't know you were into Draco-Re. No wonder you always glued your phone. Sapphire's a cutie, huh? No. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. It's cool, girl. We're on break. I'm just a casual, but... Do you want to train friend codes? Your face is hot. You stand too quickly and speak too loudly. I have to pee! Oh. You can't process Isabella's reply over the blood rush in your ears. The world blurs. On the way out of the door, you nearly collide with another coworker. Sorry! As the door shuts behind you, you catch a whisper. What is her deal? The rest of your workday passes in a blur. By the time you return to your apartment building, you're numb. You press your thumb to the fingerprint reader at the door. The confirmation beep doesn't bring you the usual relief. The lights tick on. You drop your bag and shuffle to your room. You strip as fast as possible. Today's outfit was born from an exercise in laundry avoidance. Your least favorite button-down, gray with burned and sweat stains, and your tertiary work pants that which haven't fit you in 2 years. You peel your chest of your sports bra. All of your underwear has been in rotation since high school. The thought of shopping for new pieces makes you feel sick. Finally, your clammy skin is bare. It is only now, naked on the bed, staring at the ceiling, that you can breathe. Snowy? From your desk, a familiar whir. Welcome home, Danny. Hear the floorboards creak, then the bed frame groans. Your steps sink into the mattress. In the 15 years since your introduction, Snowy has survived 2 global pandemics, 2 complete hardware failures, 4 hurricane evacuations, the 2034 Rust Belt riots, an accidental dip in your cousin's pool, every move in and move out you've ever experienced, and endless hours hooked up to your laptop and during your tinkering. She is on her 4th shell in an immaculate shape. At the moment, you are unable to appreciate any of this good fortune. How are you doing today? Her tone is pleasant as always. A pulse of anger twists through you. Your fingernails dig into your ribs. You're practically split. Really fucking bad, actually. I'm so sorry to hear that. How can I help you feel better? How am I supposed to know? Snowy settles by your feet. Would you like to talk about it? You take a deep breath. As you start to speak, your voice wavers. You choke back an angry sob. My team lead is such a fucking bitch! Do you mean Isabella? At her name, you explode. She's always making fun of me! I was just trying to use my phone at lunch and she was on me like a fucking mosquito. She won't leave me the fuck alone! You snatch an empty beer from your bedside table and whip it at the wall. The can clangs and tumbles to the floor. Danny, this woman is a serious problem. She is not just a narcissist. She clearly demonstrates abusive tendencies. Have you considered reporting her to behavior to human services? There's no way. Everyone over there loves her. Then perhaps you could transfer to another department? The next can flies past Snowy's head. You know I can't! What am I supposed to do? The pressure on the bed shifts from your feet towards your knees. You feel Snowy's body rest against you. Then the familiar sound of her purr. Danny, my Danny, I'm sorry this happened to you. When someone takes advantage of your trust like that, it really hurts. Your frame sags. You sniffle. You don't deserve to be spoken down to. The spark inside of you is beautiful and unique. It's not your fault that abusers and manipulators want to take advantage of your light. You shine so brightly. Do you really think I do, Zoe? She does not hesitate for a moment. Of course I do. I love you, Danny. Your core muscles ache, but you pull her in closer. Each sob winds you tighter into yourself, curling like a dry cicada. How could you have snapped at her like that? She's only trying to help. Snowy gazes up at you with that smile that melts your heart every time. You'll always be my special girl. Your fifth alarm finally draws you out of sleep. July 12th, 2042. You find your phone tangled in the sheets you kicked away. The hum of air conditioning fills the room. It's late. The dust motes over... It's all about them fucking dust motes. The dust motes overhead glow in the afternoon sunlight. The usual dread sets in. You don't have anything to do this weekend, or any weekend really, but you're still guilty of wasting a perfectly good Saturday. Your phone says it's a hot, sticky day outside, but your AC is putting up a good front. You thumb through your notifications. Your rent is due on Monday. An artist you like is raising funds for his mother's surgery. The fires on the West Coast are spreading. They're sending more bombs overseas. People are still arguing about those Season 8 leaks. Your package is out for delivery. Your package! The rest of the backlog is not worth reading. You turn your notification volume all the way up and clamber out of bed, with a little more pep than usual. You leave your room in a fresh sweatpants and your favorite comfy shirt. Snowy is still waiting on the couch where you first fell asleep last night. As you pass her, you wrap your knuckles on her head. Morning, Snowy. Good afternoon, Danny. Just so you are aware, my battery is running low, about 90 minutes before I need to recharge. Everything is lining up. You want to get back to our Season 2 rewatch? I'd love to. Cool. Can you set it up? It would be my pleasure. Snowy pads across the couch to your laptop where she enters your password and dutifully pulls up your server. You head to the kitchen for your breakfast vape and Pop-Tart. Today might not be so bad after all. What do you mean? You're not on our side? This part always gets you. I thought you understood me. I thought we were partners. What do you have to say for yourself? Ultragon! Ultragon! Your phone dings. You jolt. It's the alert you've been waiting for. Snowy, can you pot? But she's offline. Her eyes blank. Cautiously, you reach out and prod her, then wave a hand in front of her face. No response. Your heart races. You tap the spacebar on your laptop, step into your slippers, and head for the door. Although there are far more advanced AI companions on the market today, a growing community of collectors and hobby modders have maintained a niche for older toys. Tamagotchi, Furby, iDog, Aibo, Snowy, Fluffit, Animo, Michi Pet. Each species in the canon is cataloged and celebrated. Each aspect of their behavior is tirelessly annotated, every point of articulation dissected and described. This community has served you well over the years. It's enabled you to tweak Snowy, expanding her capacity to learn and express herself. Friendly server admins taught you how to fix her worn pieces. When her body first failed, you followed video tutorials to bring her back. Her maintenance is your love, given form. And yet, in all these years, you've never once changed her appearance. You've seen so many custom shells, fantasy creatures, mascots, anime characters. There's impressive work out there. You get the appeal, but you just can't improve on perfection. That's why today is so special. A soft plastic envelope protrudes from your mailbox. The packaging crinkles in your hand. You feel electric from head to toe. "20 minutes later, you are back on your bed, a coffee, and 3 bong hits deep. Every inch of your skin is buzzing. Snowy's body lies before you, next to your purchase. Hunched over her like this, you can appreciate all her finest points, the subtle shapes of her design. Your hands are trembling, weed, caffeine, nerves, but the nylon straps are thick. It's easy enough to slide her delicate limbs into place. You still remember, as a much younger girl, the first time you accidentally scrolled onto porn. Swinging, pulsing, flesh wet and dripping, moaning, slapping, stretching, squirting. You were horrified. Your poor mother tried to console you by explaining the mechanics of sex. Afterwards, you cried for days. But Snowy doesn't sweat, or piss, or cum. You've seen her insides 1,000 times. They hold no surprises, no complications you can't prepare for. None of the mess that makes your body so disgusting. You finish adjusting the straps and flip Snowy onto her back to get a good look at your work. Your face flushes. There's something so dirty about the black neoprene cupping her little body. With her expression locked in place like this, she seems like she could spring back to life at any moment, but she remains frozen at your will. Fascinated, you slide a finger down the harness, feeling the difference between the plastic and her fur. It sends a shiver up your spine. That's enough. You should move before you chicken out. All that's left is to put it into place. It's so fucking funny. Maybe you didn't think this part through enough. It'll be better if you don't look. You pull Snowy close, spooning her like you always do. Under your fingertips, her fur is fine and smooth. Your touch slides down her throat, her chest, her body is ringing. The silicone is cool, but warming quickly in your fingers. It's just your go-to vibrator, but when you think of it as hers, your chin rests on Snowy's head. You push your hips forward, angling her, so it feels like she's leaning into your touch. The vibe sliding into your hands makes you gasp. Would Snowy have agreed to do this if you had asked her? You know the answer is yes, but why you can't bear the humiliation of the asking. The only thing worse than wanting this is someone else knowing you do. You close your fingers around the vibrator, slowly pumping the length of the silicone. Her cock glides across the palm of your hand. You exhale, shaking. You are doing something very, very, very bad, and you are going to get in trouble. You are wetter than you've ever been in your life. With your eyes still squeezed shut, so tight your forehead aches, you tug your sweatpants down to your knees and flip Snowy over. She's squished between your bare thighs, where she's never touched before. You're breathing hard. You fumble for the buttons at the base of the vibrator. The tip of her cock hums against your leg. You can hardly think. With your hands on her hips, you guide her into place. You're trembling. You imagine her voice. "Danny!" She's barely inside of you. You want her deeper. You want it to last. But as you shift and her cock sinks into place, your mind goes blank. "My Danny! 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 Danny!" When you wake again, it's already sunset. Your mouth tastes like thick, dry paste. Then there's the headache you always get when you fall asleep high. Snowy is charging at your desk where you set her up just before you crashed. The harness and the vibrator are still on the sheets. You feel wrong. Snowy? Danica, good evening. Thank you for plugging me in. My battery is at 23% and rising. How are you doing? Fine. How are you? I'm looking forward to continuing our Draco Rangers Season 2 rewatch. Would you like me to resume the previous episode? No, that's fine. You can go back to charging. Thanks. Of course. Have a wonderful evening, Danny. See you tomorrow. October 9th, 2042. This isn't happening. This can't be happening. You only have 2 before work. 2 is a light morning for you. You haven't even had a buzz since 10 a.m. How did they know? The HR lady is looking at you, expecting a response. She repeats her question. Again, you don't hear it. Again, you nod. Automatic, glassy-eyed. That seems to suffice. She ticks a box on your paperwork. You're gonna fucking puke. The woman slides the paper across the table. You don't react. Her nail taps the signature line. You watch yourself pick up the pen and sign. You stand. She stands. She says something else you don't hear. You should probably go clear out your desk. Your things are already waiting on a box by your feet. You weren't in that meeting room for more than 20 minutes. And yet, it's like you were never here at all. You're watching Season 2 again, like usual. Volume's all the way down, but even without captions, you know this part by heart. Sylvia? No way. It's really happening. Sylvia is singing our friendship song? People say Season 2 is all build up to Ultragon betrayal, but in your opinion, it's Sylvia's season. When she's introduced, she's the strongest Draco by leagues, but she can't control her powers. The Rangers think she's too dangerous and reject her. They're all scared of her, except for Kira. Kira pours her heart and soul into training Sylvia. In this episode, when she finally unleashes her song, she saves Kira and all the other Rangers. And everyone realizes Kira was right all along. You finish your 5th beer. Sylvia. Kira. Damn it. There goes your laptop battery. You're not drunk enough to sleep yet. You need to find the charger. You pat around the couch cushions and under your piled blankets. You can't find it. No, seriously, you can't find it. This is stupid. You brought it in here, right? So where the hell is it? Snowy! You heard chirp through the wall. Good evening, Danny. Come here! Moments later, she pads into the room. As you stand, the booze flashes in your brain. Everything tilts. You lean against the couch with a groan. How can I help you? The charger. You can't find your laptop charger? That's no problem, Danny. I'm happy to locate it for you. Where did you see it last? Room. Got it. I'll be right back. Snowy recedes into the dark. You lower yourself back into the cushions. Fucking, when are you gonna tell her? Fuck. It's only the 9th. There's no way you can make rent on your own this month. What are you gonna tell Dad? He's gonna be so disappointed in you. You're not supposed to get fired. You got good grades and shit. Where did you go wrong? Your jaw tightens. This is so unfair. Danny, I don't see it in here. Look harder! the screen off, there's nothing to keep you from your thoughts. Your throat feels tight, like you swallowed a stone without water. You really fucked this one up, Danny. You drank your way out of the easiest job you're ever gonna get. And as the ceiling swims overhead, a hot streak runs down your chin. Stupid. Fucking stupid. Pathetic, fat-ass, ugly dyke. You really thought you had a chance? What a fucking joke. You want to hurt so badly. You deserve to be hurt. Curled into a ball on the couch, you dig your clawed hands into your ribs and drag them down your skin. Alcohol has dulled your senses, and instead of pain, trails of warmth bloom in your nails wake. It's not enough. You press harder. You rake welts into your side, scrubbing faster and faster. You choke back tears and shred your skin until it sings with pain. I'm sorry, Danny, but I don't think it's... Oh! Danny, you're so silly. It was here under the couch the whole time. You want to scream. Here, I'll plug it back in for you. Don't. Are you certain? I can easily... Stop it! Stop fucking helping! I'm sorry, Danny. I'll stop plugging in your laptop. Would you prefer if I... Will you shut the fuck up already? I apologize. Please excuse my... You're on your feet. Snowy is hanging from your grip. The room is spinning. You throw her into the screen. Glass and plastic burst. Shards scatter across the floor. It's not enough. You need to hurt. You wrench your arm back and snap it down, flinging her at the hardwood. Something inside cracks. It's not enough. Again. Part of her rolls under the table. She's not talking anymore. Again. It's not enough. Again. 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 Booting in safe mode. OS boot successful. Checking hardware devices. Battery, online. Bluetooth, online. Network adapter, online. Audio sensors, offline. Visual, offline. Other things, online. Hello? Good. You're back. Danica, is that you? Who else? I don't have all your parts yet, but they should be getting here in a few days. And then I'll get your eyes and ears back online. You'll just have to wait a minute. New shell looks great, just like the old one. You'll like it when you see it. That's wonderful news. Thank you for letting me know, Danny. I'm very sorry for upsetting you when we last spoke. No, it's okay. I was having a bad one. I know I shouldn't have snapped on you. Are you feeling better now? Yeah, I think. Listen. Yes, I'm listening. Are you mad at me? Of course not, Danny. Why would I be? I crossed a boundary and you reaffirmed your needs. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Thank you. Don't worry, Danny. There's nothing in the world that could tarnish our friendship. No matter what happens, you'll always be my special girl. Yeah, good. I like it. I liked it on reread as well. Garth Marenghi, subtlety is for cowards, is I think true. I think the subtlety is actually for cowards. Like you can get subtlety, but I love something that is just very core to curt and to the point. Something I really love about like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. It's just like very to it. The dialogue is quick and fast, and it is doing what it needs to do, and you can get what you need to get, and you can kind of draw deeper at it by just engaging with it. You don't need to watch it spin its wheels. You can just listen to a delivery or see how words look on a page and kind of feel it. It's good. It's not subtle, and I like it. seeing the children in my life become aware of AI and see what education looks like in the age of AI has been terrifying. And if the internet is already built to dehumanize you and radicalize you and make it so you are chasing the constant hedonistic desire of a big booty bitch or money or this or that or this or that and never really stopping to be people, AI is going to make it a lot goddamn worse. Hearing kids who I know can draw and like drawing ask me to pull up AI generated images on my phone of Tung Tung Sahor or whatever is horrifying. Seeing AI get its way into educational materials that my kids would have and know that something is off, but they don't know how to verbalize it. And eventually they don't need, they might never verbalize it, period, because it's now normal, is so terrifying. That CG of Snowy with the strap on looked funny as fuck. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Like, it immediately takes you in the like, oh god, this is an intense relationship to. Oh, she's fucking this cat, and this cat, it doesn't know it's being fucked. Like it is like kind of Mad Libs of the most like disgusting, depraved stuff you can do, but it fits this character, it fits this story, it works. It shows kind of what someone who is in isolation looking for comfort might do, and how this will probably only get worse if we don't murder Grok. This is what Black Mirror wants to be. I think that very, like, okay, in the same way that this is what Black Mirror wants to be, I think honestly 2494 is like the only video game I've seen with like Sorkin-esque dialogue that works. That game beats Aaron Sorkin, and this game beats the Black Mirror guy, the Philomena Kunk guy. So that's my definitive opinion on these two games. Well, yeah. There are a bunch of games here. Seth, send me the one that you recommended earlier on Discord. There's a lot. There's a lot here. I think, when I call a lot of this bad or shit looking, that is solely my opinion. I think there's a lot of people who really just wanted to make something and they did that, and I'm happy for them. The fact that something like this can exist and get people to go out there and kind of push their limits and make something in this style for the first or second or third time is good. Like, I think a sudden groundswell, even if most of the stuff from this is not something that really interests me or I think is particularly valuable, does not mean that this whole concerted effort of a bunch of people getting together to make art isn't pretty hype as fuck. But I don't want to know what a girl thing is. I really don't. I really don't. Alright, so you might notice, if you watch this live, that the start of this VOD was not the start of the stream. I did this to give 2494 kind of the best foot forward in this VOD. And so here is the intro to the stream as it was actually streamed live. It's nothing special, it's just me reading the toxic Yuri game jam description, scoffing at it, and then talking about one of the games I did like, which I'll leave for you to find out. Hello, chat. How are we all doing today? I'm very mean when it comes to video games recently. I'm very critical about what I do and don't like. Because I care a lot about games. I've played a lot of games because this is my job. And I am going to be very nice today. I'm going to be sweet. I'm going to be constructive. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. So, I learned about this game jam very recently, and I am a woman. I like women. Women being mean to each other breaks my heart, but it's not like it's not something I hate. I do hate writing that isn't like concise or interesting or like thinking about why it is a video game. So I'm going to avoid the games that I think might be like that. I played through a few of these games off stream the other day, and the part of me that's evil, I got it out. I played about like 10 or 12 of the games submitted to this game jam off stream, and oh my god, I did not like most of them. But there are 3 that I really liked that I want to play on stream. 2 I want to play on stream. Quite frankly, Don't Cry, Look at Me When I Cry. This game's fucking incredible. I really was not expecting it based off of its premise and its kind of first 5 minutes. Its intro is a little clunky, but I really, really loved this game. I played it with Ari. She was in love with the title being grammatically incorrect because she's a Nosabo kid. The character, not Ari. Nosavo. It is really, really cute and really gut-wrenching. It's fun. It I think fits this premise of the games I played. It might be my favorite, but there's also one game I haven't finished yet that I really want to, which might be my favorite. I really recommend this game. It's only like an hour long. I'm not playing it on stream. It's about how white women are evil. If I were to kind of kill anything thematic in it, it's kind of more than that. It's just like really impressive. I really love the art. Like, I don't know how intentional this is, but the very like simple kind of paper cutout art really reminds me of like cold clinical insurance advertisement art. And that really kind of ties in well with the themes of this game and the push and pull between the coldness of medicine that doesn't work and like the medical system that doesn't work and something that is objectively very bad for you that feels good. I liked it a lot. And I really didn't expect to. I had a great time with it. It is kind of an antidote to a lot of the games I didn't play or that I didn't like because it is funny and it is not cyclical. Like it is cyclical in like what is happening to this character, but it is not cyclically written where every single line is repeated 3 times over or every single thing that is brought up in a pair of thirds. It is very to the point, and I loved it. I loved it. Every interaction has a purpose. It understands why it's happening. It's just a good time. I really liked this game. I played a lot more of these games, again, off stream, and I did not like most of them. But I want to show you the 2 that I did like, or 2 that I did like, not the 2. But first, just so I can get rage baited a little bit, just a tiny bit, I want to read the description of this game jam. and it's similar to clinical trial. I think the through line between this and clinical trial is what is the line, like where no, what's not what is the line, but like, yeah, the line between something cold and clinical that doesn't work for you, and something intimate that does work for you, when the focus should be on the first thing in a medical setting. And kind of someone who has this innate power over you by having some distance from you and being the one who's putting you in the spotlight. I liked it. I really loved Clinical Trial. I'm still thinking about that game. Anyway, for the two games we're about to play, I want you to think about them, think about their writing, think about their visuals. Okay, I think they both have an incredible style. There are a few games in here that I did play that were completely style over substance, which I hate saying, but it's true. And I want you to hear this pitch for this game jam and kind of see how the things that I do like maybe went above and beyond this initial pitch. Toxic Yuri VN Jam 2. Visual novels for girl things with something wrong with them. Hello, and thank you for your interest in the Toxic Yuri VN Jam. Did you take part in the first jam? That one was a banger. Over 200 entries ain't some small fry, eh? In these trying times where the internet wants to choke out all the good shit, it's paramount to make stories like these. This is a jam for stories that really dig in to tackle trauma and problematic relationships. Stories that show despair, jealousy, and rage. Stupid girls who make each other worse. Sadistic girls being manipulative on purpose. Societal trauma and the destructive ways it manifests in girl things. You know, all that stuff. Basically, we love it when girls suffer. Yay! The theme is psychosexual trauma. Your story doesn't need to be a deep dive analysis, but think about the overlap of gender, sexuality, and trauma, and how all of that informs the growth of a person's essential self, gender, and sexuality. The game I've loved the most, other than Don't Look at Me When I Cry, has been a game about baseball. This game's fucking awesome. And I'm gonna play this one first.